A trash game refers to a game that is simply not enjoyable, unbalanced, poorly administered, or excessively difficult. When playing such a gamer might exclaim, "It's a trash game." One example of a game falling into this category is the virtual reality game called Tower of Trails. Upon its release, Korean gamers were known for their determination to conquer games before even the developers embarked on a relentless pursuit to overcome this game. They dedicated themselves to it for 365 days a year, foregoing eating and sleeping. However, after 3 years had passed, people began to realize that the Tower of Trials was an unbeatable game. The Gate Guardian proved to be practically invincible, and the Arctic section of the game had a bone-chilling temperature of -60°C, resulting in the death of players within an hour. Additionally, there was a labyrinth spanning over 10,000 square kilometers. This game was not designed for enjoyment, rather it seemed like a form of torture for those who played it. Frustrated and angered by the gamer hurls his controller to the ground, venting his frustration by shouting and abusing the trash game. Subsequently, the game began to experience a decline to the point of almost going under. However, despite the challenges it posed, there were still professional players who refused to surrender and continued to push the boundaries of this unbelievably difficult game. After 11 long years, the gamer finally achieves victory by conquering floor 50, becoming the first person to clear the Tower of Trials. Overwhelmed with disbelief, the gamer cannot contain his excitement. The journey was not just about the thrill of playing the game. It was about the profound sense of accomplishment that came from researching unknown strategies to conquer the tower and persevering until it became second nature, leading to the ultimate triumph. It was worth dedicating 11 years of his life to this endeavor. The gamer contemplates streaming this monumental achievement or perhaps uploading it to YouTube despite considering the game to be trash in hopes of garnering some views. As the gamer ponders his options, a notification pops up in the game. "Thank you for playing our game until now. A reboot update is scheduled in 12 hours, so please continue to enjoy the game after the update." The gamer finds it unexpected that the company is planning a reboot update, considering the lack of profitability of the game. The gamer wonders where the company managed to acquire the funds for such an update, as it doesn't make sense to invest in a game that seems to be struggling. Despite the impending reboot update, the gamer has no intention of continuing to play the game. Furthermore, the gamer has decided to quit both their job as a streamer and their involvement as a YouTuber, which they have pursued up until this point. Realizing that they have no family to support and being 27 years old, the gamer feels they cannot afford to sustain their livelihood on a monthly income of $500. The gamer ponders the idea of informing the gym owner about his temporary absence from working out. Despite receiving suggestions to become a professional fighter in the past, the gamer acknowledges that for now, financial stability takes precedence over pursuing a fighting career. As the gamer begins live streaming, they engage in casual conversation with the audience while enjoying food and drinks. The gamer intends to share their plan to quit, but nerves get the best of them, leading them to decide to make the announcement tomorrow instead. After consuming several drinks, the gamer eventually falls asleep but remembers to upload their Tower of Trials clear video before doing so. Upon waking up, the gamer starts their computer and is taken aback by a notification stating that the Tower of Trials has become a reality. Intrigued, the gamer enters the chat and discovers videos posted by others showcasing a massive tower that has materialized in the center of the city. Recalling that this occurrence signifies the beginning of the Tower of Trials, the gamer receives a computer notification confirming the completion of the first update for the reboot version. Overwhelmed by stress after receiving the notification on his computer about the completion of the Tower of Trials reboot's first update, the gamer realizes the growing acceptance of this new reality among people. Feeling the weight of the situation, the gamer stands in his room, recognizing the need to clear his head. If the Tower of Trials has truly become a reality, he can't afford to waste time like this. The gamer rushes outside as fast as he can, driven by a mix of fear that the world might be coming to an end and an inexplicable excitement pulsating in his heart. Upon reaching Central City, he finds a large crowd of people, all visibly confused and frightened by the unfolding situation. Among them, individuals desperately search for trains to escape the city, hoping to find safety elsewhere. Nervously, the gamer arrives at the entrance of the underground metro tunnel, but he firmly believes that now is not the time to retreat but to charge forward. In the Korean server, this location has been designated as an external zone, and throughout the entire country there are approximately 30 such zones, with this one being the closest to him. A notification appears on the gamer's screen: "You are now entering an event zone." As he reaches the central underground strip mall, the gamer notices that there are already people gathered there. Upon closer observation, he realizes that these individuals are the ones who had played the initial stages of the Tower of Trials. The gamer senses an intense atmosphere as he notices everyone glaring at each other. They all understand that the item about to appear will be in limited supply, and if they are fortunate, they might obtain a maximum of 5 units. Suddenly, a man approaches the gamer and asks if he is Kang Jin-hyuk. Startled by the recognition, the gamer confirms his identity. The man is taken aback but quickly deduces that Kang Jin-hyuk has been devoting his time solely to playing the game secluded in his room. This realization leads the man to understand why Kang Jin-hyuk is present in this situation. Kang Jin-hyuk inquires about his scheduled stream, but Lee Jong-soo dismisses the question and instead asks Kang about the highest floor he has reached in the game, urging him to reveal his secret. However, Kang Jin-hyuk despises being referred to as a co-worker by Lee. He recalls how his company deceived numerous streamers with exploitative contracts, trapping them in a cycle where the more they streamed, the more money they lost. Their voices were suppressed by the company's powerful lawyers, rendering them powerless. As a result, Kang's closest friends who had been with him since the beginning were forced to leave the industry. Lee Jong-soo acknowledges Kang Jin-hyuk's gaming skills and mentions his talent for mukbang streams. He expresses a desire to renegotiate Kang's contract for better terms. Enraged by Lee's words, Kang Jin-hyuk's anger boils over. He delivers a powerful punch to Lee Jong-soo's face, causing him to lose teeth. Shouting at Lee, Kang vehemently demands that he not address him as a friend and hurls abusive words at him. Kang Jin-hyuk experiences a surge of excitement, realizing that it's likely time for the item to appear. Suddenly, everyone notices bubbles emerging from the water fountain, and to their astonishment, a massive mangrove tree sprouts from it. Kang Jin-hyuk's confidence grows as he recognizes the similarity to the Tower of Trials game. It's the mangrove of greed, a tree bearing fruits that when consumed enhance strength, agility, health, and magic stats. Although the item holds significant value, there are only 4 fruits available. Kang Jin-hyuk observes the multitude of people eagerly vying for the item, foreseeing a fierce competition ahead. As the crowd descends into chaos, people start fighting and pushing one another in a desperate rush toward the tree. Lee expresses frustration at Kang, believing they could have worked together, but Kang dismisses him, telling him to be quiet if he doesn't understand the situation. Kang prepares himself to seize the valuable item. The frantic battle for the fruit ensues as people continue to fight and harm each other. Finally, someone manages to obtain one of the fruits and takes a bite, instantly gaining an increase in their agility stat. However, the majority of people in the vicinity remain unaware of the fruit's significance. Only those who have played the game multiple times understand its value and prioritize obtaining it. As the mangrove tree continues to grow, its branches lash out at the people, causing injuries in the process. Despite the chaos, Kang remains confident in his gaming skills. He believes that individuals like him who have dedicated an extensive amount of time to the game derive enjoyment from the subsequent sadistic and twisted challenges that lie ahead. As the tree grows increasingly aggressive, attacking everyone with its branches, the other people begin to panic and retreat. However, Kang remains steadfast, refusing to give up on obtaining the item from the tree. He notices Lee running back and stops him, questioning if he is giving up. Lee confesses that he doesn't want to die in this perilous situation, but Kang expresses disappointment, explaining that the true reward of this event can only be obtained by consuming all the fruits. Lee is taken aback by this revelation, but Kang assures him that he wouldn't be standing there if it were a hoax. Understanding Kang's strategy, Lee sees this as a unique opportunity despite not knowing all the details. He asks Kang what he suggests they should do. Kang proposes a coordinated dive-in. Charging from opposite sides simultaneously will serve as a distraction for the tree, allowing them a better chance at obtaining the item. Kang emphasizes the importance of unwavering determination, warning that even a moment's hesitation could result in both of their deaths. Lee assures Kang not to worry, as he too has played the game extensively and is prepared for the challenge. Kang charges forward towards the tree with Lee by his side. As they approach, the tree launches an attack on Kang, but he swiftly dodges it with ease. However, Kang realizes that Lee is no longer by his side. He hears Lee's voice from behind, shouting at him and calling him an idiot, expressing a lack of trust in Kang's words. Lee instructs Kang to proceed ahead and serve as bait. Kang smirks, pleased to see that Lee hasn't changed. In a sudden twist, it is actually Lee who becomes the bait, positioned further away from the tree. Kang expertly evades the tree's attack and observes as it redirects its focus toward Lee. The branches of the tree lash out, capturing and restraining Lee. In a desperate plea for help, Lee calls out to Kang, but Kang remains determined and continues his assault on the tree, skillfully evading its attacks. Kang jeers at Lee, mocking him and suggesting that if he has any issues, he should take them to court with his team of lawyers. As Lee becomes ensnared in the tree's branches, Kang bids him farewell with disdain. Determined, Kang presses on, deftly evading each attack from the tree. His extensive knowledge of the game allows him to effortlessly anticipate and counter the tree's assaults. With precision and finesse, Kang skillfully navigates the tree's attacks, causing the tree to harm itself in the process. Finally, he spots an opening to strike. The core of the mangrove tree mirroring his experiences in the game is exposed. However, manipulating the attacks to his advantage by identifying their angles proves to be the challenging part. Picking up a sharp fragment of a broken branch from the ground, Kang readies himself for the attack. He understands that this is an event monster offering no experience points. At best, defeating it will earn him a place in the Hall of Fame. The Mangrove of Greed employs its skill vampiric vines as it launches an assault on Kang. Recognizing that he cannot dodge every attack, Kang uses his branch to block the strike, resulting in a minor cut on his face. Kang maintains his composure as he skillfully dodges and deflects the mangrove tree's attacks, inching closer with each step. Almost within reach of his goal, Kang's attention is captured by the sight of radiant butterflies emerging from the tree. These butterflies, known as sleep butterflies, possess a defense mechanism of releasing sleeping powder. Without taking precautions against inhaling the powder, one could easily succumb to its effects. However, Kang knows the countermeasure is as simple as holding his breath, effectively nullifying the threat. Having overcome this obstacle, Kang finally arrives at the heart of the mangrove tree. He unleashes a powerful strike with his sharpened branch, relentlessly attacking the core. The tree begins to wither and deteriorate, succumbing to Kang's relentless assault. Kang stands victorious as the first conqueror of the mangrove tree of greed. The once majestic tree now dries up and splits in half, its power extinguished. In this moment, Kang reflects on the immense amount of research he conducted on patterns and timing, realizing how it has unexpectedly aided him in this victory. Kang receives a notification from the game informing him that his achievements will be recorded in the Hall of Fame for the entirety of the next day. The system requests him to state his name, but Kang, wary of the privacy concerns and unwanted attention, refuses to disclose his personal information. He refuses to be coerced into revealing his identity, knowing that being recognized as a former top player would bring unwanted scrutiny. However, the game system insists on a compromise, offering a hidden identity option. Kang reluctantly accepts, knowing that his face will be obscured with a mosaic and his voice will be altered. While Kang acknowledges the limitations, he realizes that he can address the issue in the future if necessary. At the moment, retrieving the item from the tree takes precedence. Kang reaches inside the broken and cracked tree, retrieving a green orb known as the tree orb, the essence of the tree itself. This unique item grants a substantial boost of 12 bonus stats, equivalent to leveling up 4 times. Kang recognizes the immense value of the item, surpassing anything he has encountered in the game's 50 floors. Consuming the tree orb, Kang absorbs its power, enhancing his abilities. Checking his stats on the game screen, Kang observes that he is now level 1 with 12 stat points, making him the strongest level 1 player. With this newfound strength, Kang prepares for the challenges that lie ahead, confident in his ability to overcome any obstacle in his path. 1 hour later, a notification is sent to everyone announcing that the first mangrove tree of greed has been cleared, and the video of the accomplishment will be uploaded in 10 minutes. The chat explodes with reactions. Initially, there are comments expressing disbelief, suggesting that Kang got lucky or cheated. However, as soon as the video is uploaded, the doubts fade away. The reactions, while slightly varied, share a common tone. Meanwhile, Kang checks his main account and notices messages from several accounts offering him a large sum of money. Kang ponders if his performance was truly that astounding. While clearing the mangrove tree of greed at level 1 was challenging, Kang believes it shouldn't be a cause for such astonishment. Since the game was played, the mana leaking from the Tower of Trials has spread throughout Seoul. While its impact hasn't been significant, it has transformed the artifacts outside the tower into holy artifacts. These, however, are mere replicas, copies of the legendary artifacts found within the tower. Kang arrives at the National Museum of Korea, aware that it houses the largest collection of replicas. The museum is like a treasure chest holding countless artifacts. Kang acknowledges that the challenge lies in the fact that he's not the only one aiming for these replicas. Unlike the 7 locations of the Mangrove Tree of Greed, there is only one National Museum of Korea. People from all regions will gather here to acquire the artifacts, including former top players. As Kang enters the museum, he realizes that someone has already arrived before him. As Kang enters the National Museum of Korea, he is greeted by a grim sight, a burnt corpse lying before him. It becomes evident that someone had already reached the museum before him and their intentions were far from peaceful. The rapid changes in the world have led people to become bolder and more ruthless in pursuit of their goals. The realization dawns on Kang that the gap between his expectations and the harsh reality is even wider than he had imagined. He understands that the coveted artifact everyone is after is located in the medieval classical era gallery, the Great Map of the East Land. However, Kang is not interested in merely examining the map of Korea. This particular artifact, now infused with magical energy, holds crucial information about the Tower of Trials. It reveals the locations of mazes, ruins, monsters, and valuable items within the tower. Even though it only provides information up to the 10th floor, it is enough to ignite the hearts of those seeking power and glory. The allure of this map has driven everyone into a frenzy of desire. Amidst the chaos and violence, Kang observes the frenzied battles unfolding around him as people desperately fight for the artifacts. However, a sudden interruption commands everyone's attention. A booming voice shouts, "Everybody freezes." All eyes turn towards a massive individual who stands before them, radiating an intimidating aura. This colossal figure asserts his dominance, warning that anyone who dares to make a move will meet their demise at his hands. Some challengers scoff at his threats, dismissing them as empty words. However, their confidence quickly wanes as the behemoth effortlessly tears out his stone-like arms, revealing a unique ability. The realization dawns upon the others that this imposing individual possesses formidable powers beyond their comprehension. The massive man asserts his authority and declares that the coveted map belongs to him. Fear ripples through the crowd, knowing that challenging him would be a foolish and potentially fatal decision. The room falls into an uneasy silence as they contemplate their next moves, aware that a dangerous force now stands in their path. As the old guy Min Young-woo confidently challenges the big guy, a sense of disbelief fills the air. The big guy scoffs at his audacity of underestimating the old man's power. However, his laughter is short-lived when Min Young-woo introduces himself and explains the meaning behind his name. A sense of intrigue and uncertainty lingers in the room. Without flinching, Min Young-woo warns the big guy to reconsider his stance, but the big guy dismisses him, threatening him to leave. In response, Min Young-woo casually extends his finger and summons a blazing fireball, launching it towards the big guy. The flames engulf him, reducing him to ashes before everyone's astonished eyes. Min Young-woo departs, his words lingering in the air, emphasizing the role his tongue played in the unfolding events. Miss Lee, who has joined forces with Min Young-woo, expresses her satisfaction in aligning herself with him. The old man requests Lee's assistance in covering his back, to which she assures him that she will fulfill her duty. Pointing at a powerful statue of an Egyptian god, Lee reveals that it will handle anyone who dares to interfere. The statue radiates a formidable magical aura and expands in size, surpassing even Lee in stature. Lee issues a stern warning, declaring that any movement will be seen as an act of hostility. With a touch of playfulness, she asks for everyone's cooperation, but her message is clear and commanding. The others, intimidated by the overwhelming display of power, surrender their weapons, acknowledging Lee's authority. Amidst the tense atmosphere, Lee notices Kang nonchalantly navigating through the crowd. Kang remarks on the chaotic state of the room, provoking Lee's anger. She threatens Kang and orders her god to attack. The colossal deity, armed with a massive spear, lunges towards Kang with ferocity, but Kang remains composed, prepared to face the god head-on. As Kang confidently faces the god sent by Lee, he effortlessly deflects the spear with a skillful maneuver. Lee, witnessing Kang's astonishing power, is taken aback by his display of skill. The onlookers, unaware of Kang's current stats, are astounded by his ability to effortlessly repel the divine weapon. The room buzzes with a mix of shock and curiosity. With a smug grin, Kang taunts the defeated god and directs his words at Lee. He questions her next move, pointing out that her loyal companion has been disarmed. Lee, feeling a surge of nervousness, rummages through her backpack in search of a solution. As Lee unveils the statues, a potent aura radiates from them and they begin to come to life. The life-size figures transform into formidable entities representing the power of Anubis. Lee's confidence resurfaces as she stands amidst her newfound protectors, the animated statues. Kang, impressed by Lee's ability to control multiple statues simultaneously despite her limited mana pool, acknowledges her skill. He recognizes that she is not an ordinary individual and compares her to the magic-wielding old man they encountered earlier, acknowledging the presence of experienced players in the game. Attempting to maintain a nonchalant demeanor, Kang tries to play it cool in front of Lee. However, his attempts to impress her backfire as Lee becomes irritated by his behavior. She bluntly expresses her disapproval, stating that she dislikes Kang because of his pretentious attitude. Realizing his misstep, Kang quickly drops the act and adopts a more genuine tone. He apologizes to Lee, acknowledging that he may have come across as trying too hard to impress her. Kang admits that he respects her abilities and assures her that he doesn't intend to act cool anymore. Kang, wanting to demonstrate the vast difference in power between them, decides to showcase his abilities to Lee. He unveils an artifact called Pinewood Tiger and channels his mana into it. As he activates the artifact, a colossal tiger emerges representing the ruler of mountains. Lee is astonished by the immense power and presence of the tiger. Confidently, Kang pets the massive tiger and taunts Lee, mocking her Anubis statues. He asserts that a mere jackal should not dare challenge the might of the ruler of the mountain. With a command from Kang, the tiger charges towards the Anubis statues, effortlessly overpowering and eliminating them one by one. Witnessing the unstoppable force of Kang's tiger, Lee becomes frightened and overwhelmed, feeling a sense of helplessness and disbelief. Tears well up in Lee's eyes as she realizes the seemingly impossible nature of Kang's powers. She had heard of various ways to utilize artifacts, but she had never encountered a method as awe-inspiring as Kang's. The sheer magical force emanating from the tiger feels as though it could tear her very skin apart. With her Anubis statues defeated, Kang's tiger stands tall before Lee, a testament to his overwhelming strength. Lee, feeling defeated and realizing that she cannot win against Kang, sits on the ground in a state of confusion. She is unable to comprehend the true identity and power of this Kang. Meanwhile, Kang approaches Lee and abruptly demands her to hand over the artifact, the Mask of Tutankhamun. Kang calmly sits down and leans closer to Lee, bringing his face near hers as he asserts his demand. With his tiger by his side, Kang intimidates Lee, causing her to feel frightened and cornered. Reluctantly, she agrees to hand over the artifact, realizing the futility of resisting Kang's power. Lee obediently hands Kang the artifact, the Mask of Tutankhamun. Kang stands up, now in possession of the second artifact. Lee, curious about Kang's intentions, asks if he is aiming for the great map of the East Lands. However, Kang reassures her not to worry about that matter. He instructs his tiger to guard the area, preventing anyone from following them. Prepared to proceed, Kang readies himself to acquire the strongest skill in the Tower of Trials with his newfound artifacts in hand. As his tiger stands tall blocking Lee and the others, Kang sets off towards his next objective. In the second-floor hall of the National Central Museum, Kang is searching for the great map of the East Lands. Suddenly, he hears the voice of the old man exclaiming, "How is this happening, Lee Yuri?" Kang becomes puzzled upon hearing the old man's voice and wonders who he is and how he managed to reach this floor. He considers the possibility that the old man might have surpassed Lee Yuri to come here. As Kang and the old man observe the barrier in front of them, Kang recognizes it as a 1-star rank barrier. The old man attempts to touch the barrier but remarks that he has never encountered a barrier like this before. Neither physical nor magical attacks seem to have any effect on it. Kang, on the other hand, identifies the point where the mana flow diverges and touches the barrier. He realizes that there is a way to destroy it, but it comes with a condition. Kang informs the old man that he must continuously utilize his flame magic to weaken the barrier. The old man questions how long he would need to employ his powers. Kang explains that it would be until he goes inside and retrieves all the necessary relics, returning back outside. The old man laughs at the proposition, questioning whether he would be expected to remain outside and continuously use magic. Kang acknowledges that he can't sustain the magic of sufficient strength to weaken the barrier for an extended period. Despite the old man's lack of trust, Kang assures him that this is the only way. With morning approaching, they cannot leave without obtaining anything. Kang proposes a deal, offering to let the old man keep the map since he needs something else from inside. The old man agrees to Kang's promise and expresses his concern that gaining nothing after working hard would be the worst outcome. Kang assures the old man that he has no intention of becoming an enemy of someone with high-ranking magic ability. Despite the old man's initial doubts, he realizes that there is only one conclusion and decides to place his trust in Kang. Kang addresses the old man as Grandpa and expresses his gratitude for his cooperation. As Kang prepares to enter through the weakened barrier, the old man charges his flame magic in his hands. With all his might, he unleashes his power and directs it at the barrier, causing it to break slightly. Seizing the opportunity, Kang swiftly runs through the barrier. The old man maintains his fire magic on the barrier, urging Kang to hurry. Inside, Kang observes his surroundings and realizes that it seems untouched, unlike the lower floors. He notices a broken glass case containing the iron sword with Qianlong inscription. Kang deduces that the person who set up the barrier and already finished their business here must be the same individual who plans to leave after obtaining what they want. Regardless of whether others are fighting or not, that person seems unwilling to take risks. However, Kang is certain that even that person is unaware that the relic they took is nothing more than a second-rate artifact. Kang realizes that he needs two specific materials, the ceremonial Persian formwork and the right eye of Tutankhamun's mask. When Kang combines these two relics, they begin to react, and he receives a message from the game indicating their compatibility. However, the message also warns Kang that he must pay the appropriate price if he wishes to proceed. Undeterred, Kang combines the third relic with the other two, and he receives another message from the game confirming the successful combination of the three relics against all odds. Kang has now obtained the relic called the Eye of Truth. This powerful relic grants him the ability to browse through others' status windows and determine if they are telling the truth or lying. Among the 5 eyes that exist in the world, the Eye of Truth is considered the greatest. As the old man urges Kang to hurry, Kang prepares to use his newly acquired ability to copy the old man's power before the barrier weakens further. Kang unlocks the inherent ability called Fusion. By completing specific quests, he gains the ability to copy and store others' inherent skills in the memory of the world and fuse those skills to create higher dimensional abilities. However, as the difficulty of copying a skill increases, the conditions for copying may change partially. An old man advises Kang to act quickly as he can no longer maintain his powers. However, Kang has different intentions and decides to copy the old man's abilities. Kang realizes that all he needs to do is anger the old man to copy his abilities. When the old man urges Kang to hurry, Kang tells him to stop using his skill. Confused, the old man asks Kang for the reason behind his request to use his powers for so long. Kang truthfully responds that there was no reason for the old man to continue using his powers. The old man is shocked by this revelation and asks Kang for an explanation. As long as one speaks in Latin, breaking the barrier seems easy. In reality, the old man didn't contribute much to breaking the barrier. Kang wonders about the point of constant attacks when they fail to penetrate the barrier. Kang's intention was merely to waste the old man's magic. With insurance in place, the next step for Kang is to provoke the old man. Kang is already well informed about the tower's details. Therefore, the map containing information up to the 10th floor holds no value for him. However, Kang has no intention of surrendering it quietly, and a mischievous smirk appears on his face. The old man shouts at Kang, but Kang remains unaffected. Kang takes out a lighter and deliberately sets fire to the map in front of the old man. He explains that burning the map is necessary because it poses a risk of someone else gaining knowledge up to the 10th floor and potentially gaining an advantage over Kang. The old man is outraged and continues to shout and hurl abuses at Kang, but Kang remains unfazed. Suddenly, a message from the game pops up on Kang's screen. You have met the conditions. You have successfully copied the skill Fire Element. Kang saves the newly acquired skill, and the old man threatens that Kang will pay for his actions. Amidst the commotion, Kang calmly points out to the old man that he seems to be missing something. He asks the old man why he believes Kang burned the map. Kang activates his copied fire skill, demonstrating its increased power to the old man. Astonished, the old man realizes that Kang is not an ordinary individual, and may not even require the map. Kang informs the old man that he will contact him later and advises both him and the girl accompanying him to go downstairs and increase their levels in the meantime. Although Kang has obtained some chess pieces, he knows he still has a long journey ahead. His immediate goal is to gather the necessary skills. Kang acknowledges that obtaining every skill would be impossible, so he plans to hoard only the most important and valuable ones. After the intense battles, Kang feels hungry and decides to go to a restaurant to eat. As he enters, he notices that the people at the restaurant are watching the news. The news reports that there have been at least 23 deaths and over 50 injuries at the National Museum of Korea. The death toll continues to rise due to the severity of some injuries. It is believed that the leaders were targeting the relics stored in the museum. Similar incidents have occurred not only in Korea, but also in the United States, Europe, Japan, and other countries. The news shows footage from the National Museum, and people start to recognize Kang. He realizes the need to find a way to hide his identity. The news also mentions a newly established special department called the Awakened Association, consisting of veterans possessing various abilities. The government is reported to be gathering more awakened members and offering them an annual salary along with full support. Kang sits in a restaurant engrossed in the news broadcast about the government's recruitment efforts and their commitment to providing full support to the chosen individuals. As Kang listens, the patrons in the restaurant engage in a lively discussion about the person featured in the news who seems to be connected to the National Museum. Kang becomes aware that the news report is actually targeting him, treating him as a mere pawn. Regardless of what enticing offers they might present, Kang had no intention of joining their ranks. In this world, the worth of a highly trained individual surpasses that of 100 average individuals. Han Sang-jin understands this fact well, which is why he resorts to offering a blank check to persuade Kang. If Han Sang-jin has been chosen as the president, it is likely due to his exceptional skills or his extensive experience within the Tower of Trials. Kang sincerely hopes that it's because of impressive skills that would make it more intriguing for him to imitate. Kang glances at the clock and realizes that the Tower of Trials has officially opened. He makes his way to the entrance and notices a large gathering of people, all of whom are beginners. A message from the game appears for the players announcing that as a token of celebration for entering the tower, they have been awarded 100 coins. These coins serve as the currency within the tower. Players have the option to upload videos showcasing their achievements with the opportunity to earn 100 coins for every 10,000 views. However, players with higher status will be subject to a premium charge. It's important to note that only the first 10,000 views from other players within the tower will count, so careful consideration is advised when choosing which videos to watch. The live broadcast feature is exclusively available when confronting the boss to progress to the next level. Any individuals caught manipulating view counts or resorting to other forms of cheating will face appropriate consequences. Kang's face lights up with happiness upon receiving the notification from the game. It signifies the connection between those who aspire to conquer the tower and those who prefer to lead their lives outside of it. The broadcast system enables viewers to select players with a higher likelihood of reaching the tower's pinnacle, thereby increasing their view count. Among all the functions within the Tower of Trials, this particular feature stands out as the most captivating one. The more famous a player becomes, the greater their potential to earn coins. As the crowd begins to rush, everyone vying for their success, Kang remains composed. He observes that people are eager to clear the tower swiftly and surpass others. Acquiring coins should be a breeze for him since he possesses comprehensive knowledge of the place. However, Kang has no intention of uploading a video first. Rather than relying on videos to earn coins, he believes that sharing the information he possesses would result in a greater loss. Kang has already devised his initial move, one that nobody else would likely consider. Reflecting on his past experiences in the game, he remembers a crucial step he had to take to progress further in the Tower of Trials, retracing his steps and deleting the character he had dedicated years to developing. Now Kang possesses the knowledge required to navigate the tower successfully. He understands that the cornerstone of surpassing the 30th floor lies in establishing a solid foundation, and the key to uncovering that lies within the intricate maze known as Labyrinthos. Standing before a grand stone gate, Kang opens it and steps inside, overwhelmed by a wave of nostalgia. He recalls having done this exact sequence before in the game, and everything feels eerily familiar to him. To his surprise, he notices a few individuals already present, including a girl who warmly greets him. Intrigued by Kang's entrance, the girl convinces the others to follow her lead, assuring them that allowing Kang to find eternal rest within the labyrinth is the way to proceed. Inside the labyrinth, Kang encounters a peculiar girl and her group who had followed him inside. The girl warmly greets Kang and explains that while they were out hunting, they noticed the labyrinth door had been left open. Seizing the opportunity, they hurriedly entered before it closed. The girl suggests that they join forces and navigate the labyrinth together, sharing the risks and dangers that lie ahead. Kang, suspicious of her intentions, decides to employ his artifact, the Eye of Truth, which reveals the truth about the girl. Her name is Park Hana, a 22-year-old who had previously reached the second floor of the Tower of Trials. She currently holds level 1 and possesses intriguing skills such as LV1 Commune, LV1 Quick Step, and LV1 Weak Healing. Commune enables her to establish an innate sense of friendliness with anyone, even strangers, eradicating any feelings of discomfort. However, there is a condition for her ability to be copied. Kang must cooperate with Park Hana for at least 240 hours. Furthermore, after the specified time has elapsed, they must ensure that no one is nearby either Kang or Park Hana. Kang envisions a future encounter with a formidable enemy and recognizes that Park Hana's commune skill could prove valuable in dealing with this adversary. The other individuals accompanying Park Hana also take the opportunity to introduce themselves, and Kang reciprocates by introducing himself to them. However, Kang harbors suspicions that these individuals are likely to betray them, leading him to dismiss the necessity of memorizing each of their names. Suddenly, Park Hana approaches Kang closely, taking hold of his hand, and inquires about the highest floor he has reached in the Tower of Trials. Kang becomes aware of Park Hana's intrusive proximity and realizes that she is attempting to employ her commune skill on him. Reacting swiftly, Kang pushes her away, understanding that had he been unaware of her skill, he might have unknowingly become more intimate with her. Park Hana feels a sense of unease when her commune skill fails to affect Kang. Curiosity piqued, she implores Kang to share information about the monsters present in the labyrinth and their characteristics. Kang agrees, informing them that the labyrinth undergoes periodic changes. Suddenly, to everyone's shock, the labyrinth begins to transform unexpectedly, prompting a frantic scramble as they all desperately attempt to evade the imminent danger. Eventually, the labyrinth comes to a halt, leaving the group astounded by the bewildering turn of events. While the others are shaken, Kang remains composed and queries whether they have never encountered a shifting labyrinth before. Park Hana expresses concern, deeming the situation too perilous for players at level 1. Urging everyone to find an exit, she turns to Hai-min, requesting her assistance in locating the way out using her skill. However, Hai-min reveals that her skill activation was interrupted during the labyrinth's transformation. Fear and apprehension grip the entire group as they grapple with the dire circumstances they find themselves in. Kang ponders why the group ventured into the labyrinth with such unwavering confidence, seemingly relying solely on a navigation skill. It appears these inexperienced individuals may have mistaken the labyrinth for a familiar neighborhood supermarket. Park Hana raises her voice, demanding to know why Kang failed to warn them about the dangers of the labyrinth, suggesting that their lives were jeopardized because of him. In response, Kang asserts that he neither invited nor coerced them to follow him. However, before tensions escalate further, a massive minotaur creature abruptly interrupts their heated exchange, charging toward them. Realizing the imminent threat, Kang swiftly commands everyone to retreat while he confronts the minotaur head-on. With remarkable agility, he deftly evades the minotaur's attacks. In the midst of this intense evasion, Kang unexpectedly unlocks a previously concealed attribute called Rift. As Kang confronts the minotaur in a solo battle, he skillfully evades its attacks while simultaneously unlocking a hidden attribute. This particular attribute serves to narrow the disparity in battles against formidable opponents, while conversely widening the gap when facing weaker adversaries. Kang's strength gradually improves at his current level 1 state through the narrowing of this gap, reducing the difference by 1 level for every 3 stat points gained. This method represents the most effective approach Kang has discovered after enduring numerous trials and errors. Having engaged the Minotaur countless times before, Kang possesses an intimate understanding of its every move and can effortlessly dodge its attacks. He has committed all of its patterns to memory. With his veteran experience, Kang adeptly evades each powerful assault, demonstrating his ability to easily dodge any attack with utmost ease. The other members of the group are astounded by Kang's incredible power. The Minotaur, growing increasingly enraged, charges at Kang while he remains remarkably composed. Kang believes that attaining greater strength within a short span of time is a straightforward process. One simply needs to wager their life on the line. The more risks taken, the greater the potential rewards. Evading a potentially fatal attack, Kang's hidden stat continues to rise. He reflects that exchanging a few drops of blood for a single stat point is not a bad trade-off. However, the situation remains perilous and Kang must continue dodging every attack without getting hit. Observing that the other group members are attempting to flee in search for the exit, Kang suddenly appears beside them, questioning their intended destination. Kang advises them that if they wish to increase their stats, they should adopt the same approach he is employing. Meanwhile, the Minotaur continues its relentless charge behind Kang, yet he maintains a calm demeanor amidst the chaos. The Minotaur charges at the terrified group members who, unlike Kang, are paralyzed with fear and unable to evade the powerful onslaught. Kang taunts the Minotaur, swiftly creating distance between them. However, the labyrinth walls abruptly resume their movement, closing off the Minotaur behind a wall. Park Hana collapses to the floor, overwhelmed by fear and distress from the harrowing encounter. Kang reveals that the Minotaur is drawn to the residual scent left by the glowing moths he had touched earlier, indicating that the Minotaur will continue pursuing them. Park Hana, nervous and bewildered, questions why Kang would engage in such a perilous endeavor. Kang explains that his motive is clear. He aims to increase his stats. He advises the group to take a brief respite and regain their composure whenever the maze undergoes changes, emphasizing the need to remain vigilant as the Minotaur will undoubtedly attack again. Curious about the duration of this ordeal, Park Hana asks Kang how long they must endure. Kang states that they have precisely 1 month until they can exit the maze. Nervously, Park Hana suggests that they should split up from Kang, believing that the monster won't target them if they go their separate ways. However, Kang asserts that they are unfamiliar with the labyrinth's exit and won't be able to escape without his guidance. Park Hana reluctantly agrees to follow Kang's lead. Suddenly, Kang interjects, stating that nothing in this world comes for free. He informs them that if they want to gain all the experience points by simply trailing behind him, they will have to surrender all their coins to him. Nyeon Hwan and his friends successfully cleared a goblin dungeon in record time. As their video begins to circulate on the internet, the chat community is left astounded. Excitedly, Manhwa and his friends check online and discover that their video has garnered 1,000 coins through views. Celebrating their triumph, their joy is short-lived when they stumble upon a newly uploaded video in the Hall of Fame section, which now ranks their own video in second place. The new video showcases the world's first successfully refined plus 10 item. Manhwa and his friends find themselves unable to believe what they are witnessing. 10 minutes prior, Kang and the other group members find themselves within the labyrinth. Kang urges them not to idly stand around and instead suggests gathering moss for bedding and collecting firewood to build a fire. Despite their anger, the group begrudgingly follows Kang's instructions. Seizing the opportunity, Kang accesses the in-game stock exchange to secure his coins. He proceeds to make multiple purchases, acquiring items that may appear worthless to others but hold significant value when utilized strategically. Kang combines 3 of the items he acquired, successfully crafting an incomplete version of Fortuna, the goddess of luck's Wheel of Fortune. This artifact possesses the ability to maximize fortune for a duration of 10 minutes, but can only be used once and within a limited range. Kang recognizes the immense potential of this item, understanding that how it is utilized will be crucial. Luck, despite its potential, remains elusive, and its true value cannot be realized unless one understands its limitations. However, Kang possesses a distinct advantage, as his remarkable memory enables him to discern the precise boundaries of luck. With his fortune maximized through the activation of the Wheel of Fortune, Kang proceeds to utilize refinement scrolls. These scrolls typically possess a minimal success rate when it comes to enhancing weapon stats. However, with Kang's fortune now at its peak, the refinement rate becomes an assured 100%. Exploiting this fortunate circumstance, Kang applies the scrolls to refine his dagger. Through his unwavering luck, Kang achieves a remarkable feat. His dagger reaches the pinnacle of refinement. This extraordinary accomplishment not only bolsters his weapon's power, but also earns him a bonus achievement. The achievement grants Kang a substantial reward of 5,000 coins. Moreover, this impressive achievement will be proudly displayed in the Hall of Fame for the entirety of the following day, cementing Kang's name among the esteemed ranks of accomplished players. Now Kang possesses a valuable asset, something truly worthwhile. As the 10th day dawns in the labyrinth park, Hana and her friend find themselves exhausted and fatigued. Their makeshift bed of moss and the bonfire they created from firewood offer little comfort. With only mushrooms and moss to sustain themselves, their struggle for survival becomes increasingly daunting. Meanwhile, Kang remains carefree, peacefully slumbering on his moss bed. The ever-present threat of the Minotaur and the constantly shifting labyrinth serve as a constant reminder of the peril they face. While Park Hana and her friends grapple with their grim circumstances, they realize that there is no information available about Kang. Videos related to players who have previously ventured into the Tower of Trials have been locked away. Desperate for answers, Hana reaches out to her guild members online, hoping for any knowledge about Kang. Unfortunately, they are unable to find any relevant details. Hana gazes at Kang undisturbed in his peaceful sleep, and a thought crosses her mind. If they were to eliminate Kang and take refuge in the stone chamber they had discovered earlier, they might be able to endure until their guild members arrive, ultimately escaping this treacherous ordeal. However, gripped by fear, Hana's friend, driven by desperation, grabs a stone and charges at the defenseless Kang with the intent to attack him. Hana and her friend entertain the idea of attacking Kang while he remains peacefully asleep. In a moment of desperation, her friend grabs a stone from the ground and prepares to launch an assault. However, Hana abruptly intervenes, realizing the futility of such an endeavor. She explains to her friend that Kang possesses astonishing reaction speed, making it impossible for them to defeat him in a direct confrontation, whether it be a stealthy or frontal attack. Hana foresees Kang awakening the instant they initiate an assault, swiftly retaliating against them. Seeking an alternative solution, Hana shares a valuable piece of information. She reveals that her appa is a member of the Raven Guild who equipped her with a means to escape dangerous situations. With a sense of determination, Hana retrieves a lethal poison from her bag, a drop of which can dissolve 100 trolls. The substance is none other than the stinger of a giant zucchini wasp. As Kang and the others gather around the bonfire, their meager sustenance consists of moss and mushrooms. Hana conveys her despair, stating that there is nothing else available to eat within the labyrinth. She suggests that Kang should venture out and hunt rats or moths as a means of procuring sustenance. Feeling the pangs of hunger, Kang implores Hana and her friend for more food and water. Unbeknownst to Kang, Hana briefly entertains the notion of poisoning his food, but before she can act upon her dark thoughts, her friend suddenly begins choking and collapses unconscious. Kang calmly reveals that he had anticipated such treachery, suspecting that Hana might try to harm him. Recognizing the danger, he had discreetly switched plates with her friend when he requested more food. Kang confronts Hana, denouncing her secret broadcasting as a form of cheating. He explains that the live broadcast function is intended to be used solely when engaging the boss monster that guards the path to the next floor. Any manipulation of view counts or other forms of misconduct are strictly prohibited, with appropriate actions taken upon detection. Kang delivers a stern warning to Hana, expressing his intention to report her for her actions. He mocks her for her deceit and expresses his disappointment. True to his word, Kang proceeds to report Hana within the game. As a consequence, Hana is swiftly apprehended and her viewers disperse from the chat room, disheartened by the revelation. As the labyrinth walls shift and the Minotaur charges towards them, Hana, gripped by fear, pleads for Kang's assistance. However, Kang rebukes her, reminding her of her shameless attempt to poison him earlier. He asserts that he has no intention of helping her now. Observing that he has spent 240 hours alongside Hana, Kang realizes that he can utilize his artifact to successfully copy her skill communion. With a triumphant tone, he informs her that he no longer requires her support. With the Minotaur closing in, Kang effortlessly evades its attack. He swiftly leaps above the creature and charges at it with his dagger, inflicting some damage. Knowing that he cannot slay the Minotaur outright, Kang's aim is to subject it to the same suffering he and his companions have endured. Kang activates his fire skill, unleashing a scorching blast at the Minotaur. The creature recoils, collapsing onto its legs, and enters a berserk state at level 10, roaring with fury. As the Minotaur drops to its knees under Kang's relentless attacks, he taunts the creature, advising it not to thrash about too much. Unbeknownst to the Minotaur, Kang had anticipated this turn of events and the Minotaur's final power activation. Hana watches from the sidelines, gripped by fear and doubting their chances of victory against such overwhelming strength. The Minotaur activates its LV-10 explosion ability, which grants a 30% increase in its attack power, attack speed, and sword speed for a duration of 5 minutes. Additionally, this ability temporarily enhances the Minotaur's intelligence, enabling it to speak. As the Minotaur unleashes its fury, vowing to tear Kang to shreds and scatter his remains throughout the labyrinth, Kang faces it head-on. Surprisingly, Kang's mana efficiency has greatly improved, allowing him to effortlessly block the Minotaur's attacks with his LV-10 dagger. Hana observes in awe as Kang no longer relies on evasion, instead allowing his power to flow freely. Hana realizes the gravity of the situation. Even if the combined forces of the Crow Guild were to join hands, they would still be unable to defeat a boss-level monster with its LV-10 skill activated. The odds seem insurmountable. As Kang continues to exchange blows with the Minotaur, a sense of timelessness envelops him and he finds himself reflecting on his past. He carries a deep-seated frustration, resenting the feeling of constantly starting from scratch no matter how far he runs. Powerlessness lingers in his mind, a grim reminder that nothing ever seems to change. Whether in the real world or within the confines of the game, everything is an arduous struggle. Yet within this world, Kang notices an immediate response to his actions. He remains calm, trading blows with the Minotaur as if time has come to a standstill. And finally, the time limit of the Minotaur's LV-10 explosion skill reaches its end. The 5 intense minutes of unleashed power have elapsed, but now a penalty awaits the Minotaur, an enforced suspension of 24 hours. Kang, now having accumulated 57 gap points and the ability to narrow the gap by 19 levels, realizes that with 20 days remaining he has a good chance of reaching his target of 100 points. Hana, unsure if their struggle is over, asking Kang for confirmation, to which he replies that he merely paused during the Minotaur's explosion phase. He explains that if they switch labyrinths and wait for a day, the Minotaur will resume its pursuit, leaving them with 20 more days to work with. Fast forward to the end of the 20-day period, Kang is engaged in battle with the Minotaur, effortlessly dodging its attacks while steadily increasing his gap skill. Finally reaching the milestone of 100 gap stat points, Kang delivers a decisive uppercut that sends the Minotaur crashing to the ground, defeated. Now Kang turns his attention to Hana, contemplating what to do with her. He informs her that he is currently recruiting interns for his company, surprising Hana. Despite her shock, Hana expresses her interest in being employed by Kang. When Kang asks what she can do for him, Hana nervously offers to be his friend and promises to never betray him. However, Kang is not satisfied with her response and rejects her plea. Suddenly, Hana mentions that she possesses Braham's ring and falls to her knees, begging Kang not to kill her. Braham's ring is a highly coveted item obtained on the first floor of the labyrinth. It provides benefits such as increased movement speed, mana resistance, and the ability to suppress a monster's mana power. Additionally, it boasts 3 useful options. Kang sees that Hana is telling the truth and congratulates her for passing and being his company's intern. Kang starts explaining the rules of his company and combines 2 skills, sympathy and fire, to make Stigma of Soul. Kang says that Hana will have to sign a contract and uses Stigma of Soul on Hana. The target that is engraved with Stigma must absolutely obey the orders of the caster. Any actions that harm the caster is prohibited. Failure to do this will inflict terrible pain on your whole body. The exit of the labyrinth finally opens and Kang and Hana step out, relieved to have made it out alive. Hana drops to her knees, overwhelmed with joy at their survival and successful completion of the first floor. Shortly after, they receive a message from the game informing them that their progress will be recorded in the Hall of Fame the following day, and each player will be rewarded with 5,000 coins. Hana's face lights up with happiness upon seeing her reward, but Kang demands that she hand it over to him. Kang takes all of Hana's coins while she stands in the background, tears streaming down her face. She realizes that Kang has amassed over 10,000 coins through this act, making him the player with the highest coin count. With an authoritative tone, Kang instructs Hana to retrieve Braham's ring within 3 days and deliver it to him. While Kang and Hana make their way back, they overhear a news discussion about the Dagon Guild. The newscasters engage in a debate, revealing that a week later the guild plans to confront the boss monster on the 3rd floor. The Dagon Guild is described as the representative guild of Korea, boasting the status of being the country's #1 guild. With the United States, Europe, and Japan facing difficulties in the game, there are high expectations for Korea to excel. One of the newscasters suggests that instead of relying on assistance from other countries, they should find a way to overcome the challenges independently. He expresses confidence that the Dagon Guild possesses the capability to achieve significant results on their own. After hearing the news, Kang contemplates the implications for the tower. He understands the urgency and impatience that arise from the abundance of resources within the tower. However, he reminds himself that each floor is only allocated 90 days, making it unnecessary to rush to the 2nd or 3rd floor at this moment. Recognizing the weakness of their foundation, Kang acknowledges that as the difficulty level increases, the pressure and challenges will intensify. He suggests focusing on gathering information about the past month's events first. To navigate a realm filled with useless and false information, he realizes the importance of trustworthy individuals, people he has known for a long time and can rely on as reliable sources. Back at his house, Kang takes a shower and begins searching for his old game teammates on his phone. He arranges a meeting with them in person. The first teammate is known as Human B, whose real name is Lee Taemin. The second teammate is Nuclear Fist, whose real name is Yu Yeonhwa. As Kang meets them face to face, he realizes that not everyone perfectly embodies their game personas. To Kang's surprise, Taemin reveals that he was in a different location for a month, but he never underwent any testing. Kang becomes perplexed upon hearing about this test and its implications. Taemin and Yeonhwa explain that when the Tower of Trials materialized, countless people flocked to it. However, the number of deaths drastically increased from the 2nd floor onwards. As a result, the Korea Awakening Association imposed restrictions, allowing only those who passed the test to proceed further. Kang sees an opportunity in this system and starts devising a plan to leverage it to his advantage. Finally, they arrive at the destination where the tests take place. Kang finds himself amidst a crowd of people applying for the test when suddenly a man demands that he move out of the way. However, Kang stands his ground confidently. To his surprise, he realizes that it's Hana's brother Park Hajin. Kang uses his artifact to scan Park Hajin and discovers that in order to copy his skill, he needs to escalate his hostility towards the target to the maximum level. This ability allows him to replicate any desired skill. Hana becomes anxious as she notices her brother engaging in conversation with Kang. Park Hajin points at Kang and informs Hana that he is insane. In response, Kang firmly grips Park Hajin's finger, exerting enough force to break it. Park Hajin points at Kang and exclaims to Hana that he is crazy. Unfazed by the accusation, Kang firmly grips Hajin's finger, intentionally causing it to break. The act is aimed at escalating the hostility between them, enabling Kang to copy Hajin's skill using the Eye artifact. As Hajin yells in pain and hurls verbal abuse at Kang, he attempts to charge at him. However, Kang calmly dodges the attack, causing Hajin to trip and fall to the ground. Hana watches the situation with fear etched on her face. Just as the confrontation escalates, a burly man named Kim Kitty steps in to intervene and protect Hajin. Kang tries to scan Kitty with his artifact but fails, recognizing that there is a significant level difference between them, suspecting Kitty to be over level 20. Kim Kitty, fueled by anger, activates his skill called Blackout Barrier, enveloping Kang and himself within the barrier. No one can hear their conversation and no one can enter or exit the area. Within this isolated space, Kitty strikes a deal with Kang but expresses his skepticism about Kang's claimed knowledge. To prove his credibility, Kang divulges information about Korean ginseng, an edible item known for its exceptional stamina and magic power recovery properties. However, he notes that consuming it raw can result in magic power poisoning. Kitty recognizes that Kang's information aligns with the guild's intel, and Kang proposes a deal. He requests 10 of the guild's most profitable monopolized dungeons in exchange for the information he possesses. However, Kitty deems the demand excessive and launches an attack against Kang. Undeterred, Kang fights back, aided by his teammates eventually breaking through the blackout barrier. Kang quickly instructs his teammates to remain calm and Kitty starts to withdraw. However, one of Kitty's friends becomes enraged and attempts to take on Kang alone. Kitty intervenes, restraining his friend and warning against acting independently, emphasizing the consequences they would face. The infuriated friend harbors anger towards Kang, and Kang takes advantage of the situation by copying his shallow breathing skill. Kang proceeds to participate in the test, which entails striking the magic stone placed before him. Participants can use any items or their exclusive abilities to demonstrate their potential in striking the stone. Kang prepares to strike with his dagger, aiming for the mid-grade magic stone. However, the examiner advises him to target the low-grade magic stone, as the mid-grade stone is not suitable for ordinary individuals. Kang disregards the advice and forcefully strikes the mid-grade magic stone, effortlessly cleaving it into 2 pieces, stunning the examiner. Kang achieves an impressive S rank, directly leaving the examiner astonished. Kang requests the examiner to delay reporting the result to his superior by 1 week for personal reasons, issuing a threatening warning if non-compliance occurs. Outside the examination room, Park Hana hands over the Braham's ring to Kang and requests him to release her from the contract's soulbind power. Kang responds by stating that he will consider her request. His teammates express confusion as Kang receives an F rank in the test. However, Kang assures them that this is only a temporary rank and he will undergo another evaluation the following week. Kang bids farewell to his teammates, urging them to continue ascending the tower. With his own plans in mind, Kang sets out to search for the next dungeon for the second test. While traveling alone in a taxi, Kang ponders on the nature of the tests. The first test determines one's rank by measuring their magic power, and those who pass proceed to the second test. The second test is relatively straightforward, requiring participants to clear one of the dungeons in the Tower of Trials. As there are no difficulty restrictions, most people opt for dungeons inhabited by goblins or orcs. However, Kang is headed towards the only ruins that exist on the first floor, an area that has remained uncleared since the release of the Tower of Trials game 11 years ago, and even now in its manifestation as a physical tower. After a while, Kang arrives at his destination, the Hall of the Depraved. Kang arrives at his destination, the ruins on the first floor of the Tower of Trials located in the mountains. However, as an F-rank participant, he is unable to enter the ruins alone. If he were to do so, the guild overseeing the ruins would not remain idle. To overcome this obstacle, Kang decides to register as a porter and enter the ruins alongside a group of people. During their journey into the mountains, one of the individuals strikes up a conversation with Kang. The person shares details about his family and highlights the need for caution among F-rank participants, emphasizing that no ambulance will come to save them in this dangerous place. Kang attentively listens to him, recognizing that these are the type of individuals who are often the first to perish. However, Kang reassures the person that everyone in their group will be able to return home safely. Grateful for Kang's encouraging words, the person expresses his thanks and acknowledges Kang's vibrant energy compared to the rest of the group. The game sends a message announcing the commencement of a raid quest, the first attack on the ruins with an S-level difficulty. The objective is to defeat the boss monster and reclaim the throne located in the deepest part of the ruins. As a reward, the participants will have the opportunity to choose one divine relic. Upon reaching their destination, Kang and his companions take a break before the raid begins. Kang receives a message from the game regarding a perk he has obtained for being the first to conquer the tower. Curious, Kang opens the reward and gains +10 luck and +10 adaptability. Additionally, his cold heart skill is activated, enabling him to remain composed even in high-pressure situations. Kang and his companions spot the captain of the Balhi Guild, whose name is revealed to be Song Chunhwa through Kang's Eye of Truth skill. Kang learns that in order to copy Song Chunhwa's skill, he must gain his loyalty during the raid period. As the attack team of the Balhi Guild enters the ruins, Kang and the other porters follow closely behind. However, Kang momentarily forgets his role as a porter and remains still, observing the actions of the guild members. Realizing his oversight, Kang remembers his duty as a porter and notices the presence of European members from the Zion Guild among them. He sets his sights on a short armored member and decides to befriend them by offering them iced water. Kang activates his commune skill to establish a connection with the armored member. As the helmet is removed, Kang discovers that the person before him is none other than Teresa de Laurentia, the youngest daughter of the prominent European aristocratic family of Laurentia. She is renowned as an all-round player with divine powers capable of attacking, defending, and providing supportive healing. Teresa is hailed as a hero who saved Amsterdam from near destruction during a previous outbreak, making her one of the most famous players in Europe. She is known as the Saints of Amsterdam Teresa de Laurentia. Kang uses his eye artifact to scan Teresa despite the level difference. With the help of his increased luck and adaptability stats, Kang manages to neutralize the level gap and learns the condition to copy Teresa's skill. Teresa, being ranked within the top 100 players in the world, presents a challenging target for Kang to copy her skill. However, if Kang can save Teresa's life in a dangerous situation, he will have the opportunity to choose and copy one of her innate or regular skills. Expressing her gratitude for the water Kang provided, Teresa and the rest of the group suddenly receive news that they have encountered the Guardian Sentry and triggered the ruin's security system known as the Sleeping Bomb. This system activates when it detects external stimuli, summoning powerful guardians to protect the ruins. They are given a mere 10 minutes to deal with the situation. The captain appears stressed and indecisive about their next course of action, but he reassures the group that they can survive because they have Teresa among them. The captain of the Balhi Guild has ordered everyone to prepare for battle. The Ruin Guardians have launched an attack. The main offensive force takes the lead, with the captain commanding the tankers to advance and the porters to quickly move back. The Guardians launch a full-force attack and the guild engages them in battle. The solo players request the commander to send some tanks to their side and call for healers. However, the commander ignores their pleas and instructs everyone to concentrate on the overall battle. It is expected that casualties will occur naturally and cannot be avoided. The commander does not have time to attend to the needs of individual solo players. The solo players desperately cry out for help against the Guardians when suddenly Teresa arrives and activates her skill to defend them. Two Guardians manage to bypass the main force, putting non-combatant personnel in grave danger. Teresa makes a quick decision to rush to the rear immediately. The supply forces at the rear are all injured and lying on the ground with little hope. Just as the Guardian prepares for a final strike, Kang appears and defends them, reminding the Guardian that he promised to let him return alive. Kang effortlessly dodges the Guardian's attack and unleashes his fire element, shooting fire at the Guardian and destroying it in the process. The man whom Kang saved is shocked by his power, but Kang brushes it off, claiming it was just luck. Kang decides not to engage in any further battles against Guardians in order to maintain his level 1 status. Meanwhile, Teresa notices Kang holding his dagger in front of the man and rushes towards them, assuming Kang intends to harm the non-combatant. Teresa quickly intervenes, saving the man from what she perceives as an attack. She confronts Kang, expressing her disappointment as she had believed him to be a kind person. Teresa accuses Kang of awakening the Guardians and declares her intention to restrain him. She charges at Kang, but he manages to evade her attack, leaving him perplexed. Kang attempts to explain the situation, but Teresa is too consumed by anger to listen. She charges at Kang once more, but he skillfully avoids her attack, causing Teresa to crash into a wall. Kang seizes the opportunity to explain to Teresa that if he were truly responsible for the Guardian's awakening, he could have killed her already. The man rushes over and implores Kang and Teresa to cease their fighting. He reveals that Kang is the one who saved him, leaving Teresa feeling ashamed. She starts apologizing to Kang for her earlier actions. Curious, Teresa asks Kang about his name and why he hid his identity. Kang explains that he concealed his identity for the same reasons as Teresa, just as she used the Zion Guild as a smokescreen to secretly acquire St. Peter's pledge for her previous quest. He too has his own motives that he prefers to keep hidden from others. Teresa is astonished to learn that Kang is already aware of her actions, and Kang reassures her that he is well versed in all the strategies needed to conquer the ruin. Kang believes they can rely on each other's skills as they both desire the same things. He asks Teresa if she would like him to accompany her on their quest. Teresa approaches the commander and expresses her desire to proceed further into the ruins. The commander initially hesitates, but eventually gives in and grants her permission. Teresa then asks if she can bring along one person from the porter group. The commander allows her to do as she wishes, but emphasizes the need for them to return before the commander and the rest of the group reach the end of the dungeon. Seeking a volunteer from the porter group, Teresa looks around and to everyone's surprise, Kang raises his hand. The other porters try to warn him, but Kang quickly comes up with a plan to make their pairing appear coincidental in order to preserve their secret. He decides to pretend to have developed romantic feelings for Teresa, using it as a pretext to accompany her. Kang and Teresa venture deeper into the ruins until they come across a large hall housing a sarcophagus at its center surrounded by enemies. Kang informs Teresa that Peter's oath is located within the sarcophagus. He asks if she is aware that they need to remove the engraving on the sarcophagus. Teresa confirms her understanding, but then they receive an in-game message indicating that the Lord of the Corrupted Corridor is searching for them. Kang suspects that this is an indirect message from the boss monster, as it has never shown interest in players before but now seems to be taking notice of them. Teresa also notices the message and asks Kang if the boss monster has acknowledged them. Kang confidently responds that the boss monster has only acknowledged him. Teresa finds Kang's confidence to be somewhat excessive, but she inquires about what she should do since Kang claims to know everything about the place. Teresa bravely leaps into the midst of the horde of monsters in the hall, capturing their attention. She quickly enhances her own abilities with a stat-boosting power that raises all her stats by +3 for a duration of 10 minutes. Kang instructs Teresa to draw the full attention of the undead monsters towards herself. He explains that if she displays her divine powers, it will cause the undead monsters to become disorganized and unable to regroup effectively. Following Kang's instructions, Teresa activates her divine power called Strengthening the Divine Spirit, and proceeds to vanquish a considerable number of the undead monsters. With most of the undead monsters fixated on Teresa, Kang takes advantage of the situation and expertly leaps over them, swiftly moving ahead. By entrusting Teresa with handling the monsters, Kang minimizes the risk of accidentally leveling up himself. Suddenly, a powerful bolt of black and red lightning strikes Kang, and he realizes that he is being attacked by a sorcerer skeleton, the Elite Lick, the Lord of the Hidden Ruins. Kang skillfully evades the attacks, but to his surprise, a new type of enemy known as the Dullahans emerges and launches an assault against him. Despite the unexpected nature of these enemies, Kang swiftly dodges their attacks and manages to defeat them. He is puzzled by their presence since he has never encountered them before in the game. After carefully assessing the situation, Kang proceeds forward, fully aware of the danger posed by the Elite Lick. The Elite Lick launches a barrage of black lightning attacks at Kang, but Kang employs his clever tactics to redirect the attacks towards the sarcophagus positioned in the middle of the hall. As a result, the barrier surrounding the sarcophagus shatters, surprising the Elite Lick with its own mistake. Taking advantage of the momentary confusion, Kang swiftly eliminates the remaining monsters and Dullahans in the area. Now facing the Elite Lick directly, Kang finds himself at a crossroads. He hesitates to engage in a battle with the Elite Lick as he is reluctant to reveal the full extent of his true power to Teresa, who is nearing completion in dealing with her own group of monsters. As Kang contemplates his next move against the Elite Lick, an unexpected turn of events occurs. The Elite Lick is swiftly slain with a single strike from behind, catching Kang by surprise. Kang looks up to see a peculiar individual who bears a striking resemblance to himself. In a display of brutality, the mysterious figure crushes the skull of the Elite Lick underfoot. Addressing Kang, the enigmatic figure states that there is only one person who can understand the monster's behavior, and he had been certain that Kang would eventually arrive at this place. Confused, Kang inquires about the stranger's identity, but the figure insists that Kang should remember him. Growing increasingly frustrated by Kang's lack of recognition, the mysterious individual becomes visibly angry. Kang confronts the enraged individual, who remains indignant over Kang's failure to recognize him. Utilizing his Eye of Truth ability, Kang discovers that the person before him is named Chun Yusung. Kang realizes that the condition to nullify Chun Yusung's ability to copy is to defeat him using his most trusted weapon, a steel sword engraved with the words Kyan Long. This particular artifact had disappeared from the National Museum of Korea. Kang recalls a past encounter with an individual who relentlessly pursued him, persistently challenging him no matter where Kang was or what he was doing. It dawns on Kang that this person was the persistent warrior with an obsessive fixation, an individual he now remembers as the Psycho Stalker. Chun Yusung, filled with anger, expresses his disbelief that Kang fails to recognize him simply because the game has transitioned into reality. Kang acknowledges that he now remembers their previous encounters, but Chun Yusung asserts that this time it will be different. He declares that they have both started anew and he will no longer be pushed back by Kang. Kang, understanding Chun Yusung's determination, states that he will not intervene if Chun Yusung wishes to fight. However, he points out Teresa and warns Chun Yusung that his comrade will not remain passive if a fight ensues. Without hesitation, Teresa charges at Chun Yusung, but he swiftly activates his ability known as Battlefield Selection. Thrusting his sword into the ground, Chun Yusung creates a powerful barrier. Kang, perceiving the broken sarcophagus and the purple orb he desired, seizes the opportunity. He swiftly retrieves the orb and calmly tells Teresa "see you later," indicating his intention to depart from the situation. As a result of Chun Yusung's skill, he and Kang are instantly teleported to a different location. With a smug expression, Chun Yusung asserts that there will be no more interference from anyone, renewing his challenge to Kang. He activates his one-on-one skill, which significantly weakens Kang's abilities. In the midst of the intense confrontation, Kang receives a message from the game. Due to the disadvantaged state, he finds himself in the special condition of his skill fusion is triggered. This allows Kang to copy Chun Yusung's unique ability known as Song of Swords, granting him a remarkable 200% increase in his understanding and proficiency with swords. As Chun Yusung charges at Kang with his sword, Kang effortlessly deflects his attacks, leaving Chun Yusung astonished. Frustrated by Kang's apparent disregard, Chun Yusung unleashes a flurry of additional abilities, but Kang expertly evades every strike. However, Kang realizes that his own blade is on the verge of breaking under the relentless assault of Chun Yusung's sword. In a bold move, Kang decides to fuse the Song of Swords ability with the demonic soul pill, resulting in the acquisition of a unique ability known as Grave of Swords. This newfound power grants him an extraordinary 500% increase in his understanding of swords. Chun Yusung finds himself utterly shocked by the overwhelming power displayed by Kang. Even in a battlefield that should have been heavily skewed in Chun Yusung's favor, he remains unable to emerge victorious. Filled with anger, Chun Yusung charges at Kang, only to have his sword energies effortlessly blocked and countered. Mockingly, Kang taunts Chun Yusung, claiming to have grown bored and weary from battling far more formidable adversaries. Chun Yusung persistently attempts to strike Kang, but Kang successfully deflects his attacks, ultimately causing Chun Yusung to lose his grip on his sword. Defeated and deflated, Chun Yusung reluctantly implores Kang to end his life. However, Kang asserts that there will be another opportunity, expressing the need for strong players in the game. Extending his hand towards Chun Yusung, Kang's true motive is to copy yet another skill from him. Nevertheless, he is aware that a minimum of 60 days must pass before he can copy another skill from the same person. As Chun Yusung departs, he insists on knowing Kang's true name. Refusing to disclose it, Kang tries to prevent Chun Yusung from revealing his original name. However, Chun Yusung defiantly exposes it, declaring that Kang's true name is Poop Fart. As the Balhi Guild, led by their commander, ventures deeper into the dungeon, diligently clearing out the monsters, they suddenly notice a magical presence ahead on their map. Before they can catch their breath, an iron golem emerges before them with a powerful vampire perched atop its shoulders. Fear grips everyone as the high-ranking vampire gracefully descends to the ground, wearing a sinister grin on his face. He introduces himself as Velis, a bloodkin who serves Jinzo, the master of these ruins. Curious and cautious, the commander confronts Velis, inquiring about his intentions and issuing a veiled threat. Velis, acknowledging the commander's leadership, calmly states that he has come with a proposal. He requests their cooperation, urging them to accompany him quietly. Without warning, Velis cuts his finger, allowing his blood to drip onto the ground. In an instant, his skill Blood Fist is activated, engulfing half of the group in pools of blood and resulting in their demise. With the remaining members now at his mercy, Velis issues a menacing ultimatum: either comply and accompany him or face certain death. While Kang and Teresa continue their quest to obtain the artifacts, Chun Yusung remains on the sidelines, observing their progress. Teresa unleashes her divine purification skill on the artifact they had previously retrieved, transforming it into the Frozen Tear. This powerful artifact has the ability to greatly enhance one's magic power upon absorption after purification. Kang's magic stat receives a significant boost of 12 points, leaving him elated that they were able to obtain the elusive Frozen Tear with Teresa's assistance. Suddenly, Teresa receives an in-game message notifying her of an invitation from the Master of the Cloister of the Fallen. The message states that if they wish to rescue the assault team, they must proceed to the innermost room. Accepting this quest would result in all monsters and traps leading up to the final room being temporarily halted. Teresa realizes that the members of the assault team have been captured, and she feels compelled to go and help them. However, she is overwhelmed with fear and doubts her ability to confront Jinzo on her own. Filled with trepidation, Teresa realizes that she cannot face Jinzo without the support of the assault team. Meanwhile, Chun Yusung decides to depart, recognizing that the situation does not involve his own team. Before leaving, he cautions Teresa about Kang, describing him as a self-centered individual. However, Chun Yusung reveals that only Kang possesses the power to defeat Jinzo. In response, Teresa smiles and implores Kang to join her in the fight against Jinzo. Kang, true to his character, mentions his hefty contract fee. However, Teresa assures him that she will provide him with as many coins as she can afford in exchange for his assistance. With a mutually agreed understanding, Kang and Teresa both accept the quest. Kang and Teresa stand before a colossal door radiating an immense amount of magical energy. Kang reassures Teresa, urging her not to be afraid and emphasizing that he has a plan. He implores her to place her complete trust in him no matter what unfolds inside. Together they enter the room, their eyes drawn to a grand throne perched atop a staircase in the center. Velis with a sinister grin greets Kang and Teresa while Jinzo reclines casually on the throne. Jinzo remarks on growing tired of waiting, and Kang, concerned for the safety of the captive individuals, inquires about their well-being. Jinzo gestures towards the group of bound and blindfolded individuals encased within a protective barrier. Among them, Kang spots Park Hajin and realizes that it was he who awakened the Guardians. Jinzo explains that Kang's invitation was extended due to the alluring scent of his blood. Sensually touching herself, she reveals that Kang's blood possesses a sweetness unparalleled by other humans, arousing her. Kang feels a sense of unease but mocks Jinzo nonetheless. In a fit of anger, Jinzo attacks Kang, but he skillfully evades the strike, sustaining only a minor cut to his face. Infuriated, Jinzo rises from the throne, readying herself for a fierce battle. Jinzo desires Kang's blood for herself and launches an attack on him. However, Kang refuses her proposition. Despite his refusal, Jinzo proceeds with the attack, but Kang manages to dodge it. Jinzo asserts that Kang has no choice in the matter. Rising from her throne, Jinzo prepares to confront Kang. Teresa, concerned for Kang's well-being, inquires if he is alright. Kang assures Jinzo that he will give her something even more enticing than blood. Jinzo dismisses Kang's claim, believing that nothing surpasses blood. Kang counters by offering her freedom, which frightens Jinzo. This declaration angers the other vampires, who shout at Kang, questioning how he dares utter such a word. Demonic humans refer to those who have forsaken their humanity due to reasons such as money, revenge, or personal beliefs. These demonic humans obstructed players from ascending the tower, and at times collaborated with the monsters of the labyrinth or ruins. Jinzo acknowledges that she has heard of demonic humans but finds it hard to believe that Kang is one of them. Kang reveals that he has already established contact with the temple on the 27th floor and has been informed about how to deceive the barrier surrounding the ruins. Teresa wonders why Kang has suddenly assumed the role of a demonic human and questions the significance of the temple that has shaken the vampires. Jinzo remarks that if Kang possesses knowledge about the temple, his words hold more weight than mere bluffs. Kang asks Jinzo if she trusts him, but she refuses, stating that it doesn't matter whether he is a demonic human or not, as anyone can claim to resolve long-standing issues. She considers Kang to be overly persuasive and lacks trust in him. Jinzo gathers her power and unleashes her ability Blood Spears, hurling it towards Kang. Teresa, witnessing the attack, swiftly steps in front of Kang to defend him and activates her sacred reinforcement. Teresa's power intercepts Jinzo's assault, shielding Kang from harm. Teresa instructs Kang to stay behind her while she continues to repel the incoming attacks. Jinzo expresses her hate for divine powers and activates Blood Explosion. Teresa becomes apprehensive, but despite her unease, she places her trust in Kang. However, to everyone's surprise, Kang abruptly thrusts his dagger into Teresa's back from behind. Jinzo is taken aback and Kang queries if she now trusts him. Teresa, now crawling on the ground, musters the strength to ask Kang if this was his plan all along, but before she can finish, Kang stabs her once again. Jinzo finds this situation amusing and grants Kang an opportunity to explain himself. Kang reveals the Braham's ring to Jinzo and explains that by imprisoning Alice's soul within this artifact, they can temporarily deceive the barrier. Jinzo expresses her surprise, stating that it's the first time she has encountered someone seeking to seal her soul. Meanwhile, Kang ponders the reason behind his decision to remain at level 1, forfeiting all the potential experience he could have gained throughout his journey in the Tower of Trials. He realizes that the 7-star skill Soul Transfer can only be employed when one is at level 1. Kang activates the magic circle necessary for capturing the soul, understanding that he requires Jinzo's consent for the process. However, Jinzo communicates telepathically with Velis, expressing her lack of complete trust in Kang. She instructs Velis to eliminate Kang and destroy the magic circle if he attempts anything suspicious. Descending the stairs, Jinzo reflects upon the fact that she has been banished to this place for over 1,000 years. Once again, Jinzo inquires of Kang whether she can truly place her trust in him. In response, Kang bows before her, assuring her and employing his commune skill. Jinzo grants her consent for the soul transfer, and the Braham's ring successfully captures Jinzo's soul. Kang chuckles and remarks how relieved he is that Jinzo seems to appreciate her new abode, glancing at the Braham's ring. Meanwhile, Teresa activates her skill Blessing of the Star, which allows her to revive once, provided the death is not instantaneous, with a cooldown period of 240 hours. With a smile, Teresa looks at Kang and he warmly welcomes her back. Teresa utilizes her revive ability and Kang warmly welcomes her back. It becomes evident that it was Kang's plan all along. Jinzo, confined within the Braham's ring, angrily commands Velis to kill Kang. Teresa expresses her curiosity, acknowledging that she has many questions, but decides to save them for later. Velis, along with the other vampires, seethe with anger towards Kang and charge up their powers, preparing for a fight. Velis shouts at Kang, questioning if he truly believed he could escape after betraying their master. Velis launches an attack using his Blood Wave ability, but Kang swiftly counters it with his fire skill. Kang then requests that Teresa attend to the hostages. Agreeing with Kang's request, Teresa checks on the hostages and activates her skill, freeing them alongside the commander. Grateful for her assistance, the commander inquires about the vampires. Teresa points towards Kang, who stands surrounded by the vampires, and reveals that he is single-handedly taking them on. Kang stands firm, facing off against Velis and his vampire army. Velis expresses confusion over how Kang is able to block his power, but Kang clarifies that there is a misunderstanding. Kang reveals that they had already lost the moment their master was captured. With determination, Kang activates his skill and Velis responds by activating his own, commanding his vampires to destroy the ring and free their master. To everyone's astonishment, Kang effortlessly defeats all of the vampires, including Velis. The commander is shocked by Kang's display of power. Curious about Kang's identity, the commander turns to Teresa for answers. However, Teresa chooses not to divulge his true identity, and simply states that she happened to encounter him on her way there. After successfully defeating all the vampires, Kang approaches Teresa, who expresses the pain of being attacked by her own ally. Kang reassures her that they have accomplished their objective regardless. Overwhelmed with emotion, Teresa's eyes well up with tears as she gratefully thanks Kang for saving everyone. With the conditions met, Kang successfully copies Teresa's unique ability Blessing of the Star, granting him the power to wield divine abilities and revive himself. Still wearing his mask, Kang reveals the divine artifacts to Teresa. However, their conversation is interrupted when the commander Song Chinhua requests them to pause and introduces himself as the captain of the attack force. He claims ownership of all the items discovered during the raid on behalf of the Balhi Guild. Kang gazes at the captain and expresses his discontent, stating that the captain saved their lives, but is now asking for the rewards from the ruins as well. The captain becomes nervous and proposes an alternative form of reward. Angered by this, Kang tells them that if they desire the artifacts so strongly, they are free to take them, but they should be prepared for any consequences and not of any regrets. The captain appears confused but proceeds to collect the artifacts. As the captain reaches out to pick up the artifacts, a strange mark suddenly appears on his palm. Kang explains that the particular artifact can only be safely obtained by killing Jinzo Alice, who is still alive within Kang's ring. Thus, the captain has become cursed. Kang urges Teresa to leave with him, indicating that it's time to depart. Meanwhile, at the Tower of Trials, the department head and deputy discuss the ongoing situation with their team. To their surprise, they discover that the Hall of the Depraved has been cleared, causing a commotion among everyone present. Kang, Teresa, and the others emerge from the ruins, attracting the attention of the press, who bombard them with questions about how they managed to clear the ruins. The captain of the attack force also emerges, but his appearance shocks everyone as his hair, eyebrows, and eyelashes are completely gone. Teresa takes the opportunity to clarify that it was not Song Chinhua who cleared the ruins. She points towards Kang, who still wears his mask, and announces to the press that this man single-handedly accomplished the feat. In response, the members of the Balhi Guild make their exit. The news of the mysterious masked player spreads throughout Seoul, becoming a hot topic of discussion. Kang sits comfortably at home enjoying his noodles while feeling relieved that he chose to wear the mask to conceal his identity. Teresa is the only person who knows his true identity and has promised to keep his secret, so there's no need to worry. Kang decides to communicate with Jinzo, who resides inside his ring. Jinzo angrily shouts and threatens him, but Kang vigorously shakes the ring, causing Jinzo to feel dizzy inside. Despite Jinzo's threats, Kang grows increasingly angry and violently smacks the ring, continuing to shake it vigorously. After 3 hours of torment, Jinzo is on the brink of death within the ring, crying. Kang implores her to stop crying and come out of the ring. Reluctantly, Jinzo emerges from the ring after Kang grants permission, ready to exact her revenge. However, she is taken aback when she realizes that she has become miniature compared to Kang. Shocked by her diminished size, Jinzo, now in a miniaturized state, realizes that she can only manifest a fraction of her true power. Jinzo, now known as Alice, begins to cry upon seeing her current state. Kang, however, urges her to stop crying and reassures her that his words at the ruins were not empty promises. He declares that he will help her attain the true freedom she desires. Kang informs Alice that if she assists him, he will eliminate all those who betrayed her and aid her in reclaiming the lost position of the Ataraxia family's head. A video of the successful ruin raid, initially thought to be destined for failure, is uploaded online. The masked player's appearance completely turns the situation around, garnering praise from viewers in the comments section. Kang arrives near a building, having heard that the guilds are hoarding wealth, and confirms its truth. Putting on his mask, he breaks into the building, which is heavily guarded. Kang effortlessly defeats all the guards with his formidable power. Reaching the top floor of the building, Kang encounters Shin Jinsu, the leader of the Black Crow Guild, berating Park Ha-jin for his failure to discreetly eliminate someone in the ruins, resulting in the awakening of the Guardians and causing chaos. Kang blasts open the door to the top floor and confronts Shin Jinsu, asking if he is the guild leader. Shin Jinsu shouts for someone to apprehend Kang, and Park Ha-jin sees this as an opportunity to impress Kang, charging at him. However, Kang removes his mask, leaving Park Ha-jin shocked, and delivers a powerful punch. Shin Jinsu recognizes Kang and angrily shouts at him, but Kang nonchalantly takes a seat on the sofa. Shin Jinsu grabs a nearby sword, activates his skill, and charges at Kang. Unfazed, Kang effortlessly dodges the attack and swiftly breaks the sword in half with a small coin-like piece from a board game that was on the table, leaving Shin Jinsu stunned. Calmly resting his legs on the table, Kang tells Shin Jinsu, "Shall we continue our discussion?" Kang remains comfortably seated on the sofa on the top floor of the guild building, with his legs propped up on the table after defeating Shin Jinsu. Filled with anger, Shin Jinsu confronts Kang, questioning if his presence here signifies a thirst for revenge, given Shin Jinsu's previous attempts to eliminate Kang. Reacting swiftly, Kang hurls a board game piece at Shin Jinsu's head, causing him to stumble and fall to the ground. While Kang's fury still lingers, Shin Jinsu tries to pacify him, warning about the 50 high-ranking members of the guild who are currently occupied with clearing the tower. He emphasizes that if Kang dares to harm him, the guild members will relentlessly pursue him, determined to take his life no matter the cost. Shin Jinsu pleads for mercy, realizing that revenge will not bring satisfaction to Kang. However, Kang's power surges within him, and he directs it towards Shin Jinsu, propelling him out of the window on the top floor and sending him hurtling into the unknown. Kang approaches Park Ha-jin, who is trembling and lying on the floor. He informs Park Ha-jin that the only reason he is still alive is because of his sister, and warns him to stay out of his sight until his eventual demise. As Kang surveys the scene, he notices a man nearby who is feigning death. He shouts at the man to get up, his voice filled with authority. The man, who reveals himself as Kim Hee-woong, slowly rises, cautiously assessing Kang's demeanor. Kang approaches Kim and acknowledges his role as the one responsible for managing the general affairs of the Black Crow Guild. Impressed by Kim's capabilities, Kang states that it would be a waste to simply dismantle one of the leading guilds. With a thoughtful expression, he decides to entrust the operations of the guild to Kim, appointing him as the new guild master. Kim is taken aback by this unexpected turn of events and expresses doubt, mentioning that even if he assumes the role of guild master, there will likely be opposition from the guild members, who will not easily accept him as their leader. In response, Kang advises Kim not to concern himself with those who oppose his leadership. With a confident smile, he reassures Kim that he will take care of any opposition that arises. The members of the Black Crow Guild receive a message summoning them to gather on the top floor. They arrive filled with anger at being interrupted during their ongoing raid, but their anger quickly turns into shock when they discover their former leader lying lifeless outside the building. With a sense of urgency, all the guild members rush to the top floor, only to find Kim Hee-woong seated in the guild leader's chair. One member charges at Kim, threatening him and demanding an explanation for what has occurred. However, the guild member suddenly notices Alice and questions if this child is responsible for everything. Alice becomes furious at being called a child and retaliates by launching a massive explosion, visible even from outside the building. Kang, observing the explosion from a distance, lets out a sigh. It has been approximately 2 months since the Tower of Trials appeared, and the world order is undergoing significant changes. People are swiftly adjusting to the new world at a remarkable pace. The news channels are featuring a special program dedicated to the masked player, which has captured immense attention. The program highlights the remarkable feat of a single individual clearing a ruin that even a large attacking force failed to conquer. Only 2 individuals are aware that Kang, who entered as a porter, is the masked player. One is Mr. Kim, the leader of the porters, and the other is Teresa, who has also promised to keep his secret. Kang arrives at the Awakened Association, where all the prerequisites have been met, and there are no longer any restrictions holding him back. Now the moment has come for Kang to seize control over everything and establish his monopoly. As Kang arrives at the Awakened Association, he takes a moment to check his uninspiring F-rank certificate on his phone. Yeonhwa and Taemin spot Kang and warmly greet him, updating him on their progress. Kang introduces Alice to Yeonhwa and Taemin, presenting her as a player from Northern Europe, knowing that revealing Alice's true identity could potentially lead to chaos. Kang then introduces Kim to Yeonhwa and Taemin, informing them that Kim will be taking charge of managing the recently acquired Black Crow Guild. With excitement, Kim greets Yeonhwa and Taemin, feeling overwhelmed by the unexpected introduction. Compared to his previous boss Shin Jinsu, this recognition from Kang is a rewarding experience for Kim, evoking deep emotions. Yeonhwa and Taemin are taken aback when they discover that Kang has become the master of the Black Crow Guild, realizing that they now have the opportunity to ask for favors from him whenever they need. Kang notices Alice, who appears unfazed by the situation, and she suddenly erupts, blaming the guild members for provoking her. Kang raises his voice, questioning how she could resort to blowing up a building just because she was called a child, especially considering she has lived for thousands of years and should be able to handle such provocations. Alice attempts to explain herself, but her explanation falls short. Kang then asks Alice to accompany him on a hunting expedition, stating that he needs a supporter for taking on a horde. Alice inquires if any unexplored hunting grounds are remaining, to which Kang explains that the guilds have control over the prime dungeons until the boss of the 3rd floor is defeated and the 4th floor becomes accessible. Everyone assumes that there are no unknown hunting grounds except for Kang himself. On the 1st floor of the Tower of Trials, Moon Lake is a renowned location known for its breathtaking scenery within the tower. However, ironically, no one visits this place anymore, as humanity is preoccupied with the imminent threat of extinction and lacks the luxury of leisure. Kang steps into the lake and explains to Alice that there are 12 statues surrounding the serene Moon Lake. Among them, it is the carp statue that holds an additional purpose beyond its decorative role. The statue bears a groove that hundreds of players have noticed, leading to discussions within the community. However, no one has successfully discovered the key that fits into this groove. Kang, however, knows the secret lies not in a mere metal object but in moonlight itself. He places his palm on the groove, adjusting the amount and angle of moonlight entering the groove to align with the sequence engraved on the stone inside. After considerable effort and cautious handling, the underground door opens, revealing the path ahead. Alice's excitement soars as she witnesses the vast expanse that lies beneath the 1st floor, experiencing true freedom after a prolonged period of time. Kang asks Alice if she is glad that she made a contract with him, causing her cheeks to flush with a blush. Kang proceeds into the underground area and invokes the divine power through the blessing of the star. He absorbs the frozen tear, once again augmenting his magical prowess. Kang contemplates Alice's nature as a kind of data within the game and wonders how other players would perceive her. Attempting to gather information about the tower, Kang tries to question Alice, but encounters a glitch, realizing he cannot discuss tower-related matters with beings within the tower itself. Suddenly, Alice notices an approaching presence and promptly alerts Kang. Confidently, Kang charges his flame ability and hurls it toward the swarm of bugs emerging from the depths. Kang refers to the lower ground of the Tower of Trials' 1st floor as a spawning ground, as monsters endlessly pour forth from the abyss. As massive scarab beetles charge toward Kang and Alice, Kang stands confidently, instructing Alice to stay behind him. Alice shrieks, expressing her disgust and fear of the repulsive bugs seeking refuge behind Kang. Kang activates his unique ability, the Blessing of the Star, unleashing a powerful beam of light that creates a tremendous explosion, weakening the monster's physical defenses by 30%. Encouraging Alice to showcase her abilities, Kang commands her to utilize her powers. Alice employs Bloodbind, entangling the bugs in blood-filled bubbles. Meanwhile, Kang enhances his stats with the assistance of his Rift ability, swiftly obliterating all the bugs with a single slash, rapidly leveling up in the process. In the conference room of the Olympus Guild, Patrick, the representative of the Titan Guild, informs his subordinates that the 8th raid to ascend to the 4th floor has failed. Out of the 15 attack forces comprising 100 individuals each, only 9 people have returned. Although the boss of the 3rd floor may seem ordinary, the challenge lies in finding a way to overcome the 100,000 statues under its command. 10Y, the representative of the Junghwa Guild, slams the table in frustration, stating that even with a divine artifact possessing the responsive force ability, they were still unsuccessful. Hence, attempting to face the enormous horde seems impossible. Maria, the representative of the Olympus Guild, remarks that the raids on the second and third floors were conducted hastily without providing players enough time to grow and develop their skills. She suggests that having players above level 15 could make a significant difference. Baek Jinho, the captain of the third raid in the Dangun Guild, agrees and adds that their current predicament is partly due to guilds like Junghwa monopolizing the magic crystals by regulating the dungeons, resulting in a chaotic situation. The representative of the Junghwa Guild, 10Y, becomes infuriated and launches into a fit of anger directed at Baek Jinho. He vehemently proclaims that they have climbed the tower for the sake of humanity, and he will not tolerate baseless humiliation. Patrick intervenes, urging everyone to cease their quarrel, emphasizing that they have gathered together to find a solution to the current problem. Patrick reveals that they received a message from the demonic humans just before daybreak yesterday. As Teresa stands behind, quietly listening to the meeting, she contemplates how the notion of working with the demonic human repulses everyone present. Given the current state of the world, where the influence of large guilds surpasses that of governments, it is no wonder such an idea is met with disgust. With the increasing influence wielded by these guilds, the importance of having a just and noble cause has become more crucial than ever. However, to Teresa's surprise, an angry voice emanates from the nearby fireplace, challenging the prevailing sentiments. Suddenly, a man materializes before them, asserting that they must realize their individual strengths are insufficient to achieve anything. The conference room erupts in shock, and Baek Jinho hurls a table at the demonic man. Undeterred, the man urges them to join forces, emphasizing that they possess the power necessary to defeat the boss of the third floor. Baek Jinho vehemently shouts at the demonic man, accusing him of lying. He argues that the Demonic Human Association does not even possess 100 members, making it impossible for them to penetrate through the enemy army. In response, the demonic man showcases his power by summoning skeletons from the ground, revealing himself to be a necromancer. Patrick takes notice of the man's staff, and the man explains that this unique item, the Staff of Greed, can only be crafted by acquiring 99 specific materials. 10Y suggests that with such formidable power they might have a chance in the raid against the third floor boss. Baek Jinho agrees, aligning his stance with 10Y's. Meanwhile, Teresa finds it absurd to even consider joining forces with the demonic humans and believes they are acting irrationally. As she ponders about Kang, she receives a video call request from him on her phone. Teresa received a video call from Kang on her phone and answered it with a delighted expression. Kang greeted her and asked about her well-being and if she had made any progress in leveling up. As Kang observed the chaotic situation surrounding Teresa with guild members and the demonic human present, the demonic human noticed Kang talking on the phone and questioned his identity. He demanded to know why Kang was hiding behind a screen instead of revealing himself. Kang acknowledged the request and agreed to switch the call to a collective one. He put on his mask and appeared on everyone's screens. The sight of the unknown individual who successfully cleared the first floor ruins shocked everyone in the room. The super rookie known as Unknown had become a highly sought-after recruit by guilds from all around the world after his solo conquest of the first floor ruins. Now, before their very eyes, Unknown, the individual they had desperately tried to contact, appeared. Those who had made tremendous efforts to reach out to him couldn't help but feel elated at his sudden appearance. The demonic man acknowledged having heard of Unknown, the conqueror of the first floor ruins, but he cautioned that the upcoming boss raid would be completely different from that place. Kang asked the demonic man if he was capable of handling it, to which the man agreed, claiming he could succeed with the assistance of his summons, and the demonic man was met with skepticism from Kang. Kang pointed out that the man's staff was a fake and emphasized that the true Staff of Greed required the rare materials known as the Saint's Heart and a prison uniform soaked in holy oil. Kang asserted that he had only encountered 3 floors thus far, making it impossible for him to obtain the genuine staff with the red gem embedded beneath the skull. Kang expressed his dissatisfaction with the quality of the summoned skeleton soldiers, deeming them too feeble to withstand the challenges of the boss room. He voiced his suspicion that the demonic man intended to abandon them all after looting some coins and items amidst the ensuing chaos. This provoked the demonic man, leading him to hurl insults at Kang and warn him of impending regret for rejecting his offer. In a swirling cloud of purple smoke, the demonic man vanished. Patrick and the others felt the weight of stress in the situation, but Kang reassured them that they wouldn't have to ally themselves with the demonic humans. He pledged to undertake the challenge alone, emphasizing that they would still benefit from the successful clearing of the tower. Meanwhile, Patrick saw this as an opportunity to recruit Kang even in the event of potential failure. Compared to joining forces with the demonic humans, this course of action appeared to have no downsides. Despite the offers of money from the guild representatives, Kang politely declined, stating that he didn't require any rewards. Instead, he requested their assistance in blocking off the area to prevent other hunters from entering. Kang assured them that if they allowed him to proceed alone, he wouldn't accept any compensation. The representatives were left puzzled and suspicious, questioning Kang's motives for such a selfless act. Kang simply stated that he was merely doing what he believed was necessary for someone he considered a precious comrade. Kariza blushed at his words, causing Kang to feel a sense of awkwardness. He thought to himself that most people would have taken the down payment, but they failed to see the bigger picture. Kang decided to record the screen, realizing that a player who prioritized their comrades over personal gain could earn something far more valuable than a mere down payment. However, he planned to edit out the part involving the demonic human before uploading the video. Kang concluded the video call and noticed that he had already reached level 12 after just a day of grinding in the spawning ground. Kang descends further into the underground alongside Alice and comes face to face with a colossal statue seated on a chair before him, a deity known as Anubis. Anubis informs Kang that his original intention was to entertain himself and then kill Kang, considering he is the first human to reach this place. However, Anubis finds it ironic that Kang seems eager to hasten his demise. Interrupting him, Kang asserts that he didn't come here to engage in idle conversation and urges Anubis to proceed with their encounter. Anubis exclaims in disbelief, questioning if Kang expects a god to personally engage in combat with him. Alice interjects, warning Kang about the immense danger Anubis poses. She offers to hold Anubis back while Kang makes his escape, and Kang appreciates Alice's concern for his well-being. Kang reassures Alice not to worry and instructs her to simply observe. Taking a step forward, Kang positions himself closer to Anubis, triggering Anubis' innate ability, the Judgment of Anubis. This skill is always activated whenever someone confronts him. It is an absolute judgment skill that activates by answering 3 questions, known as the Judgment of Anubis. Kang realizes that the condition to acquire this skill is by shattering the vessel that contains Anubis' consciousness, provoking him to lose his composure. By causing Anubis to lose his patience, Kang can obtain the power to ask the most profound question. The key lies in answering Anubis' questions without worrying about the truthfulness of the responses. Anubis poses the 3 questions and Kang answers them perfectly. The Judgment of Anubis is triggered, causing all of Kang's stats to decrease by 50%, and his innate abilities and skills to be sealed for 1 minute. Anubis selects a judgment champion, the giant mantis, announcing that it will be the entity passing judgment upon Kang. In response, Kang summons a mini gramophone which plays a specific song that cannot be interrupted until its completion. Anubis deems Kang insane, but Kang asserts that music is something to immerse oneself in a meticulously chosen song after countless searches and experiments. The beats of the music align precisely with the attack patterns of the giant mantis, rendering its assaults ineffective as Kang follows the rhythm and counters accordingly. Anubis becomes increasingly nervous as he realizes that Kang deliberately utilized the music's rhythm to flawlessly evade the attacks. He concludes that this was not a mere coincidence and that Kang had planned it all along. Meanwhile, Kang receives a notification indicating that the 1-minute restriction on his innate abilities and skills has ended. Taking advantage of this, Kang activates Sword Cemetery and launches an assault on the mantis, but the creature regenerates once again. Kang devises a strategy to make the mantis lose its will to live and proceeds to sever all of its limbs. Alice, delighted and blushing, begins to believe that Kang might truly assist her in seeking vengeance. The giant mantis collapses onto its belly, unable to stand without its limbs. Kang taunts the incapacitated creature, which, overcome with embarrassment, takes its own life. Anubis is astonished by the turn of events and Kang experiences a level up in power. Kang acquires an item from the giant mantis and obtains the skill Ice Molding. Kang notices that this particular item usually appears only in the middle of the tower, but due to fortuitous circumstances he gains the ability earlier than expected. Excitedly, Kang activates the Ice Molding skill. Anubis ridicules Kang, questioning whether he intends to fight with these ice toys. In response, Kang retorts, pointing out that Anubis himself can't even stand up from his throne. Anubis, while aware that the Anubis statue is a vessel for consciousness, remains puzzled as to why Kang has come to face him. Anubis summons a beehive and commands the bees to attack Kang. Demonstrating his resourcefulness, Kang combines his fire manipulation with his new ice ability, resulting in the creation of the skill Daylight. He unleashes the skill, shooting a powerful beam of light at the bees, causing a dazzling flash. The battle between Kang and Anubis unfolded before their eyes. Realizing the need to adapt his strategy, Anubis activated his chosen target ability, causing the hive to spawn a more formidable creature. The formidable hornet charged at Kang with astonishing speed. In response, Kang activated his Ice Mold's ability and swiftly attacked the hornet, defeating it with a single strike. However, to his surprise, instead of perishing, the hornet multiplied and transformed into 2 hornets. This unexpected outcome occurred due to the nature of the chosen target's skill, which caused multiplication rather than immediate death. The hornets continued to reproduce rapidly, nullifying the effectiveness of Kang's powerful abilities. Determined to overcome this challenge, Kang fortunately came across a special item known as the Giant Pill. This unique item had the ability to enlarge its target up to 10 times its original size. Seizing the opportunity, Kang threw the giant pill into the mouth of one of the hornets and swiftly climbed onto its back, firmly grasping its antennae. He knew that the effects of the giant pill would activate within a minute. There is a phenomenon where something refuses to die and instead continues to multiply, creating a cheat-like effect that can drive the enemy to despair. Under these absurdly unfavorable conditions, understanding the situation becomes nearly impossible. However, by observing the pattern through countless repetitions and calmly analyzing the scenario, one can alter their way of thinking. Kang skillfully steers the hornet as if it were an airplane, relentlessly striking the other hornets. He utilizes a powerful item called the Unknown Cube and enhances its capabilities even further by combining it with 4 additional items. This allows Kang to capture both the hive and all the hornets within the cube. With utmost precision, Kang employs his fire skill within the cube, resulting in the demise of all the hornets. Interestingly, this act of killing the hornets triggers the multiplication of both the giant pill item and the experience gained. Anubis is astonished as he witnesses Kang's brilliance. He wonders whether Kang had already prepared the necessary items and comprehended the special features of the hive to set up this trap. Filled with anger, Anubis demolishes the hive. Kang becomes disappointed and Anubis yells in fury, feeling humiliated by a human. Anubis advises Kang to ascend the tower while his vessel is destroyed. Kang fulfills the requirement to copy abilities and decides to acquire the skill called Judgment of Anubis, which diminishes the target's stats by 50%. It imposes a 1-minute restriction on the activation of their skills and innate abilities by posing 3 questions to them. Alice was both shocked and confused by what had just transpired. Kang checked his stats alongside Alice and realized that he had experienced a significant level up. Just as he was contemplating this, Kang received an unexpected video call prompting him to ask Alice to move out of the screen view. The call came from Chen Yusung, who inquired about Kang's whereabouts. However, Kang firmly asserted that it was none of Chen Yusung's business, which only served to further infuriate him. Despite their disagreement, Chen Yusung proposed something to Kang. He disclosed that in 24 hours the Awakened Association would be hosting a martial arts tournament, and players ranked AA and above, including himself, would be participating. Chen Yusung urged Kang to join the tournament and face him in a final battle to determine the victor. Kang pondered the idea, questioning why he should fight Chen Yusung since he didn't possess a skill that Kang could copy at the very least. However, Chen Yusung surprised Kang by presenting an invitation ticket to the black market. Chen Yusung calls Kang to invite him to a martial arts tournament for a fight. Kang believes that participating in the tournament would be a waste of time since Chen Yusung doesn't possess a skill that he can copy. Kang points out that he hasn't received a ranking above AA, which means he is not eligible to compete in the tournament. Chen Yusung explains that the tournament champion is given 2 options: the opportunity to choose a divine relic from those in the National Museum, or the chance to nominate a player who didn't compete in the tournament to fight against them. Kang sits at the tournament feeling bored and his mind drifts towards the black market. Based on Chen Yusung's explanation, Kang believes that the black market differs from the player's coin exchange and speculates that it may hold numerous items he needs to defeat the 3rd floor boss. Suddenly, Kang receives a notification stating that the video he uploaded has become a hot topic. The video was uploaded on an unknown channel and features a masked player alongside Teresa and rankers from prominent guilds worldwide. As the parts with the demon were edited out, no one criticizes the guilds. Kang sees no benefit in making these large guilds his enemies. The comments on the video are filled with encouragement for the masked player. Kang anticipated such reactions, knowing that he had become a hot topic, a player shrouded in mystery. He had boldly declared his intention to challenge the boss alone in front of those repeatedly failed guilds, so it was expected that the atmosphere would heat up. Kang ponders all of this but still finds himself bored, wondering when the tournament will finally come to an end. Here are the 24 competitors participating in the fighting tournament exclusively for players ranked AA and higher. The tournament was organized by the large guilds and the awakened association as a response to the public's negative criticism resulting from their repeated failures in defeating the third floor boss. The purpose of the tournament is to demonstrate the strength and reliability of the players to the people. Essentially, it is nothing more than a show. During the tournament, Kang observes the victories of the old man and the girl with the Anubis statue. The guild representatives are thrilled to witness such formidable fighters in the tournament. They turn to Hong Deokpyo, the CEO of the Black Cloud Guild who holds an S rank, and inquire about his thoughts on the competitors. Hong Deokpyo believes that Chin Yusung is the only person worthy of his attention. When the Black Cloud Guild offered Chin Yusung a chance to join them, he was the only one to decline the offer. Eventually, Chin Yusung emerges victorious, defeating all opponents in the arena and claiming the championship title. He selects Kang as his desired opponent. Although annoyed, Kang rises to his feet prepared to face him. The entire audience is taken aback and the guild representatives investigate Kang's background, discovering that he holds an F rank. They are puzzled as to why Chin Yusung chose to fight against a player of such low rank. Kang steps into the arena prepared to confront Chin Yusung. Before engaging in the battle, Kang requests a promise from Chin Yusung that this will be his final challenge, urging him to learn the importance of giving up as well. Chin Yusung activates his skill Soul Chaser Sword Kai, causing his sword to be engulfed in intense blue flames ready to strike. Kang lets out a sigh, mocking his opponent, and harnesses his flame power, getting ready to launch an attack against Chin Yusung. Chin Yusung and Kang are facing each other in the tournament. A massive blast occurs, causing a hole in the arena's ceiling. It turns out that Kang was responsible for the explosion with his skills. Chin Yusung becomes exhausted from countering Kang's various techniques. Eventually, Kang defeats Chin Yusung and takes the black market invitation ticket from his coat pocket. The audience at the arena is shocked by Kang's remarkable abilities. Kang notices the presence of an old man and Lee and approaches them to talk. The old man nervously expresses that he wouldn't want to be Kang's enemy. In response, Kang humbly acknowledges that their initial encounter was a bit intense, but assures the old man that it's all water under the bridge. Kang also states that he doesn't wish to be the old man's enemy either. Kang then asks Lee for a favor and requests her phone number. Initially, Lee refuses, but when Kang playfully threatens her, she eventually relents and gives him her number. A muscular man suddenly jumps into the arena and expresses his surprise at the power of an F ranker like Kang. Kang activates his Eye of Truth and discovers that the man's name is Young Do-eun and he is at level 21. Kang realizes that to replicate his abilities he must discern the man's intentions. He aims to uncover Young Do-eun's plan and potentially acquire his skill called Giant's Clutch. Young Do-eun clarifies that he has not come to fight, which prompts Kang to question his motives. Young Do-eun states that he wishes to be under Kang's care and extends his hand. However, Kang's Eye of Truth reveals that this is a lie. Behind Young Do-eun's composed demeanor there is a subtle display of inferiority and rage. The gathering reporters, seemingly waiting for this moment, observe Young Do-eun's hand extended for a handshake. They anticipate his unique ability Power of a Giant as the representative of the Black Cloud Company wears an expectant expression. Young Do-eun plans to divert all the attention towards himself by overpowering the new recruit who defeated the tournament winner right in front of the reporters. Kang uncovers his scheme and fulfills the condition required to replicate his ability. Kang acquires the skill Giant's Clutch, which grants him the power of a giant. This skill significantly enhances his grip strength, allowing him to effortlessly handle items that are 10 times his weight. In the past, when Tower of Trials was just a virtual reality game, Kang had limited opportunities to acquire new skills due to the lack of players. However, now that the game has become a reality, he realizes that all the skills obtained by other players through various efforts are waiting to be collected by him. Curious about the affiliation of the handshake he witnessed, Kang asks Young Do-eun if it represents the Black Cloud Guild. Young Do-eun replies that Kang doesn't seem to be affiliated with any guilds, and if he joins them, they will provide him with special treatment. Kang engages in conversation with Young Do-eun, intending to uncover his motives. Eventually, he taunts Young Do-eun, suggesting that he thought he could win solely based on strength. In response, Young Do-eun activates his Giant Clutch skill. Unbeknownst to Young, Kang had already activated his Judgment of Anubis skill by asking Young Do-eun 3 questions. Young Do-eun attempts to overpower Kang but fails, ending up being overpowered himself. Kang applies pressure to Young's hand, causing him to writhe in pain. Kang delivers a powerful punch to Young's stomach, causing him to fall on his back. Kang taunts Young, mocking him. Enraged, the CEO of the Black Cloud Guild intervenes and jumps into the arena. Kang acknowledges Hong's anger but proposes that they postpone the fight for now. Although Hong becomes even angrier, Kang explains that he doesn't want to destroy any guild masters just yet. In a fit of rage, Hong attacks Kang with his ability, but Kang utilizes daylight to blind everyone in the audience. He then employs Rift to equalize his stats with Hong. Just as Hong activates his powerful ability to attack Kang, the association abruptly enters and orders them to cease. The association suddenly enters the arena to intervene and stop the fight between Kang and Hong. Kang recognizes the man leading Korea's awakened association, President Han Sang-jin. Hong complains to Han Sang-jin about Kang, expressing his displeasure at how Kang treated a player associated with their guild. Han Sang-jin disregards Hong's comments and introduces himself to Kang. Han Sang-jin admits that he did not know Kang until about 20 minutes ago. However, he received a call from Department Head Park, who was in charge of the martial arts tournament, informing him about an unbelievable situation unfolding here. Intrigued by the peculiar circumstances, Han Sang-jin decided to investigate Kang's test results. Han Sang-jin congratulates Kang on achieving the 16th S rank in Korea, and both of them bow down before Kang, with Han Sang-jin expressing the association's responsibility for the incorrect ranking assessment and offering a heartfelt apology. The audience erupts with excitement, and the reporters begin shouting that there's a new S-rank player, urging everyone in the press conference room to come immediately. Everyone disregards Hong and Young, who are lying unconscious on the floor, and rushes towards Kang. Hong feels bewildered and frustrated, so he calls a reporter to inform them that the Black Cloud Guild will be attempting to defeat the boss on the 3rd floor. However, the reporter quickly retreats, advising him to call back later. Hong's pride is shattered, and Kang mimics his ability, the Blood Demon Kai. Kang gains widespread fame, and his story becomes a hot topic in the news, receiving numerous positive comments from the public. Thanks to Han Sang-jin's arrangements, Kang flies to Las Vegas in first class, realizing that this special treatment is one of the perks associated with having a high rank. While enjoying their meal on board the plane, Alice draws Kang's attention to a peculiar man seated in front of them, suggesting that he is not an ordinary human and there is something unusual about him. Intrigued, Kang trusts her instincts and employs the Eye of Truth on the mysterious man. To his astonishment, Kang discovers that the man is Alex Judro, and he possesses the ability to copy unique skills based on Kang's affinity with the subject, allowing Kang to replicate one of their skills. However, to attain maximum affinity with the subject, Kang must apply to the demonic human association. Kang realizes that the enigmatic man is one of the demonic humans, and he finds it hard to believe that the man can maintain such a composed demeanor while putting on an act. Alex becomes aware of Kang's presence and introduces himself, extending his business card to Kang. Alex then invites Kang for a drink, and Kang decides to go along with it, playing along for a while. As they enjoy their conversation, Alex shares various stories and pours out some top-notch cognac. Alex inquires with Kang about the masked player and explains that their group intended to participate in the raid on the 3rd floor. However, they have encountered significant difficulties due to the formidable opposition posed by the masked individual. Alex implores Kang to join them in the boss room on the 3rd floor, emphasizing that Kang's assistance would greatly benefit their cause. Kang contemplates the situation, considering that the major guilds have already made a solo raid agreement with Unknown. As a result, strict restrictions will be in place for accessing the 3rd floor boss room, making this alternative approach necessary. Alex assures Kang that now being an S rank, he possesses the autonomy to act independently, and no one will be able to harm him. Kang acknowledges that he has recently attained S rank status, but he realizes that Alex is essentially urging him to go against the established major guilds. Alex entices Kang by divulging information about the Potion of Legends, a miraculous elixir capable of curing any ailment, including a damaged heart. He offers the Potion of Legends as an advance payment if Kang agrees to proceed with their plan, referring to it as the Contract of the Dead. However, Kang declines to sign the contract, yet he still accepts the elixir from Alex. Kang took the elixir from Alex without signing the contract, which angered Alex. However, Kang used his powers, causing sudden turbulence on the plane. Fearing that Kang intended to crash the plane, Alex became scared. In his anger, Alex asked Kang if he already knew where he was affiliated. Kang replied that he had a rough idea and was quite good at acting. Alex threatened Kang, stating that Unknown would demand that he face the consequences for his actions no matter what. Kang dismissed Alex's threat, claiming that it was an obvious lie. He reminded Alex that they were on the same side as Unknown, who had humiliated them during the Olympus meeting. This revelation shocked Alex, wondering how Kang knew this information. Kang taunted Alex and hinted that he might share some information about Unknown if Alex treated him nicely. The plane finally landed in Las Vegas, and Alice was excited to see the beautiful city, commenting that it wasn't bad. As a reward for Alice's discovery of the demonic human, Kang took her out, although he was nearing the limit of his current mana. Kang made a decision to combine the abilities of Eye of Truth and Blood Demon Kai to acquire a superior skill called Eye of Gluttony. This new skill possessed immunity to all types of barriers and allowed Kang to inspect a target status window. However, frequent use of the Blood Demon Kai increased the risk of his personality being corrupted. Kang could only use view sharing and mind reading on targets of lower level than himself. Kang desired to earn money for the black market auction, but he didn't want to resort to forcefully taking funds from hardworking individuals, as that would cross a moral line. Alice asked him with excitement where they were headed, and they finally arrived at the private gambling house Tortuga. Upon entering the gambling house, Alice commented that the other buildings had a more appealing appearance. However, Kang assured her that this was the right place for them. They observed a man being expelled from the premises by the guard as they made their way inside. Alice's excitement grew as she looked around the building, finding it enjoyable. She asked Kang what made this place different from others, and Kang explained that it was a casino where magic could be freely used. Kang and Alice headed to the bar, where Kang instructed the bartender to put everything on his tab and to make any drink that Alice desired. Alice felt annoyed that Kang expected her to remain still in a place like this, as it had been a long time since she had ventured outside. Kang took a shot and prepared himself to earn some foreign currency. He found a table, sat down, and utilized his skills against the dealer. With the assistance of his abilities, Kang accumulated substantial amounts of money, causing the dealer to grow increasingly nervous. Kang then decided to wager all of his chips, which were worth over 5 million, and inquired about the guild responsible for managing the establishment. The dealer informed Kang that the scavenger guild invested in and managed the place. The dealer became perplexed, as Kang had been relatively quiet until that moment, suddenly bombarding him with questions. Kang questioned whether he was not allowed to ask many questions in that establishment, to which the dealer replied that of course he was allowed to ask. The dealer, confident in his abilities, believed he could see through Kang's plan and attempted to use his power to manipulate the cards as he flipped them, preventing Kang from accurately reading them. However, to his astonishment, the dealer discovered that his ability did not work. Unbeknownst to him, Kang had employed his judgment of Anubis skill by subtly questioning the dealer, leading to his victory. Kang claimed all the chips as his own when suddenly a voice shouted at him to wait. Kang found himself surrounded by numerous guards who demanded he accompany them. Undeterred, Kang stood his ground, ready to fight, and boldly stated that in this place the one who gets scammed is the foolish one. Kang finds himself surrounded by guards inside the casino. He prepares himself for a fight against them. One of the guards aims a gun at Kang and fires, but Kang manages to dodge the bullet. The crowd cheers in excitement while Alice remains seated at the bar, calmly enjoying her cocktails. The guards call for the guild executives, but they won't arrive for at least 30 minutes. The guard realizes that something is amiss, because even in this lawless place such chaos is uncommon. He discovers that the person causing the commotion is Kang Jinhyuk, who was recently ranked as S rank in South Korea just a few days ago. The guard becomes nervous because someone of Kang's caliber could potentially destroy the entire casino. Notably, there are only 20 S-rank players in total in America. The leader of the guards intervenes and instructs the others to cease their actions. He sincerely apologizes to Kang for their rude behavior, admitting that they failed to recognize who he was. Kang questions the sudden apology, wondering if the leader now realizes that he has offended someone of high rank. He remarks that this place is typically where the foolish ones get scammed. Kang asserts that he will not only claim the money he won but also demand compensation for the mental distress caused by their attempt to deceive him. He confidently states that he would settle for a mere $10 million, which leaves the guard astonished. Kang then warns the guard that if his demands are not met, he will ensure the permanent closure of the establishment. Kang receives a deposit of $10 million in his account, considering it more than sufficient to acquire the desired items. Finally, a taxi arrives to pick him up and take him to his destination. Kang arrives at the auction house and seeks Alice, who is concealed within his ring. Alice questions whether Kang has forgotten their agreement, but he clarifies that they are heading to a location where they can't be seen together, urging her to remain within the ring. However, Kang still brings Alice out of the ring, which elates her as she feels the venue is befitting her noble status. Kang advises Alice to refrain from drawing any attention within the auction house, as there are numerous onlookers present. He explains that due to the emergence of the Tower of Trials, various ancient treasures have resurfaced. Kang and Alice observe many individuals engaged in conversations regarding the forthcoming auction items. At that moment, Alice detects an unpleasant odor and alerts Kang about it. Suddenly, Kang's attention is drawn to Julius Cedric, the individual who possessed the counterfeit Staff of Greed. Julius approaches Kang accompanied by Alex, who is introduced as Julius's subordinate. Kang activates his Eye of Gluttony ability and assesses Julius's impressive stats. He notes that Julius possesses a remarkable unique ability that synergizes well with a necromancer's skills. Kang discovers that the condition for copying this ability, or one of Julius's skills, is contingent upon Kang successfully completing his black magic education and receiving an A+ grade. Kang informs Julius that he has obtained something of significant value from his disciple and had a pleasant journey. Julius chuckles and asks Kang once again for any information he possesses about Unknown. Kang responds by suggesting they discuss it at a later time, but Julius becomes angry, insisting that there is no other opportunity. This angers Alex as well, but Julius claims there is still a way. Alice asks Kang if she should eliminate these bothersome individuals, referring to them as smelly bastards, but Kang advises her to leave them be. As the auction commences, Kang decides to secure a seat. The first item up for bidding is a meteorite that landed in Arizona, reputedly emitting potent mana ever since the appearance of the Tower of Trials. Bidders enthusiastically participate, yet Kang recognizes that there are no current artisans skilled in working with meteoric iron. Therefore, he realizes it is an opportune moment to acquire it at a reasonable price. Kang places a bid of $300,000 poised to secure the item when suddenly Julius enters the bidding with $1 million offer. As Kang remains seated at the auction, he finds himself embroiled in fierce bidding battles against Julius, who consistently outbids him by 3 times the amount for each item. Kang's frustration grows with each defeat, suspecting that Julius is deliberately trying to secure every item he sets his sights on. When the next item is announced, originating from the ancient Maya civilizations of South America, Kang boldly places a bid of $500,000 even before hearing the item's name. Alice questions his decision to acquire the item without knowing its description, but Kang assures her to trust in his plan and asks for her patience. Once again, Julius boldly places a bid of $1 million for the item, prompting Kang to counter with a bid of $1.5 million. In an attempt to match Kang's bid, Julius ups the stakes to $3 million. However, Kang decides to halt his bidding, allowing Julius to secure the item for $3 million. Julius smirks triumphantly at Kang, fueling Kang's frustration. This pattern continues as Julius persistently bids high amounts, with Alex attempting to intervene only to be slapped aside by Julius. Julius believes that by obtaining the items Kang desires, he can trade them for information about Unknown. The next item up for auction is a seemingly ordinary chessboard which most consider to hold little value. Nonetheless, Kang places a modest bid on it and Julius immediately raises the bid. The bidding escalates rapidly, with Kang ultimately offering $10 million, shocking the crowd. However, Julius, driven by his assumption of Kang's desires, dramatically shouts $30 million, convinced that he has finally discovered Kang's true intention, and that $10 million is the limit of Kang's bidding power. Julius arrogantly declares that Kang will have to beg him on his knees if he wants to obtain the item. Initially, Kang intended to exhaust Julius's funds, but he suddenly realizes that Julius has far more money than he anticipated. Kang understands the need for a new plan, but before he can devise one, Alice unexpectedly rises from her seat and places a bid of $100 million, leaving Julius utterly shocked. In an attempt to outbid her, Julius offers $110 million, but Alice swiftly counters with a bid of $200 million. The total amount Julius has spent on seemingly insignificant items now surpasses $700 million, causing him to grow furious with Alice. He shouts at her, expressing doubt that she truly possesses $200 million. The auction announcer intervenes, stating that it's not a matter of doubting Alice, but rather a request for proof of her account balance. Alice opens a portal, retrieving a crown from within and presents it to the announcer. The announcer examines the crown and confirms that its value easily exceeds $500 million. This revelation angers Julius, causing him to speculate that a new and potentially more bothersome adversary than Unknown has emerged. He instructs Alex to move forward with Plan B. Meanwhile, Alice receives the chessboard, but she requests that it be handed to Kang instead. Kang expresses gratitude but questions if it isn't too much. Alice dismisses his concerns, explaining that she was planning to empty her overflowing treasury regardless. Moreover, she declares her unwillingness to tolerate individuals who belittle her contractor. Kang feels a sense of happiness and pride in Alice's support. However, their moment is abruptly interrupted by a massive explosion originating from within the building. As the building fills with chaos and people scramble to evacuate, Alex positions himself at the exit. and proceeds to harm and kill several individuals. He activates his ability known as Mana Furnace. Kang swiftly arrives on the scene and sternly scolds Alex, expressing that he has crossed a significant boundary and harshly mistreated others. As Alex continues to consume the souls of those attempting to exit the auction building with his abilities, Kang arrives and berates him for his actions. In response, Alex summons enormous monsters to confront Kang. Unfazed by Kang's resilience as an S-rank, Alex recalls the humiliation he suffered during their encounter on the airplane. He commands his demonic summons to attack Kang, but Kang effortlessly evades their assaults. Curious about the whereabouts of the wealthy individual they encountered earlier, Alex questions Kang. Kang informs him that the rich kid referring to Alice despises repugnant individuals and had fled on her own accord. Kang realizes that while Alice's physical body had been released, the ongoing damage from the smelting furnace is a concern. Recognizing the urgency to conclude the battle swiftly, Kang resolves to finish the fight as quickly as possible. Kang swiftly activates his ability Sword Cemetery, obliterating a substantial number of demonic summoning. Alex, taken aback by Kang's speed and agility, struggles to even perceive Kang's movements. Unfazed, Alex summons additional demons using the bodies present. Kang discerns the underlying strategy. By absorbing the life force of individuals, Alex can continuously generate more monsters, gradually depleting his opponent's mana. Kang realizes that this is the essence of how necromancers engage in combat, utilizing the life force of others to sustain their summoning abilities. With unwavering determination, Kang remains steadfast against the onslaught of attacks, refusing to yield. Realizing the need for a decisive move, Kang unleashes his daylight ability, aiming to incinerate the demonic creatures before they have a chance to resurrect. Alex, however, attempts to disperse the crowd and strike Kang before the concentrated rays of daylight can converge. To Alex's surprise, he observes that the feet of the demons have suddenly frozen in place. Unbeknownst to Alex, Kang had swiftly employed his ice skill immediately after employing the blinding light of daylight, exploiting the distraction caused by the intense flash. Kang berates Alex for his actions, and with a brilliant burst of blinding light, Kang emerges triumphant over his opponent. In a desperate attempt to reach his master, Alex flees, only to be met by Kang's thrown dagger, which impales him in the back, bringing an end to their conflict. Kang coldly informs Alex that he will endure a painful demise within the next 30 minutes, but Kang possesses an elixir capable of saving him. However, Kang conditions its use upon Alex divulging information about the demon society. Despite his injuries, Alex attempts to communicate, but his words fail to escape his lips. Resigned to this setback, Alex decides to write down the information instead. Yet Kang swiftly intervenes, preventing Alex from proceeding. It becomes evident to Alex that Kang had never intended to listen to him in the first place. Kang resolutely returns the elixir to his pocket and hurls the card that Alex had given him back on the airplane, declaring that he has no need for it. With a tone dripping with disdain, Kang reveals that he has one final favor to ask, hoping that Alex endures a protracted and agonizing demise, and further berates him. While surveying the scattered items, Kang's attention is captured by the sight of the dragon's heart. Realizing the potential value of such materials, he contemplates their usefulness in expanding his inventory space. Kang combines the dragon's heart with the ore created by Michelangelo, successfully crafting a huge space inventory bag plus 5,000 kilograms. Suddenly, the auction's host arrives, accompanied by his young child, and expresses gratitude to Kang for saving them. Kang explains that he had no intention of simply taking the item, but the host insists that Kang's actions were heroic and deserving of thanks. The host expresses his heartfelt appreciation for Kang's role in rescuing both him and his son. Kang experiences a unique sensation, realizing that this is the first time he has encountered such gratitude, and surprisingly, it feels rather pleasant. On the third floor of the Tower of Trials, within the eerie confines of the Cathedral of Abhorrence, a young man engages in a fierce battle against the encroaching enemies. By his side stands a girl named Melina, who questions the necessity of their repeated ventures into such perilous situations. Annoyed, the young man chastises Melina for her incessant complaining, his frustration compounded by the loss of the foolish Alex. Seething with anger, Melina threatens the young man, declaring her indifference to his emotions. However, their exchange is abruptly interrupted by the appearance of a mysterious figure donning a cloak and mask. The enigmatic individual confronts them, questioning the nature of their companionship, noting that they have managed to survive together for over a decade. Perplexed, the figure wonders why they always find themselves engaged in conflict instead of supporting one another. The man concealed beneath the cloak and mask addresses Melina and the young man, revealing that he summoned them due to the emergence of a new blacklisted player named Kang Jinhyuk. Melina dismisses the significance, suggesting that Kang might have merely dabbled in some games, making him no different from other accomplished players. Engaging in a conversation about their motivations and journey within this virtual reality world, they recall that they were drawn to it as an obscure refuge from the watchful eye of international authorities. Melina asserts that unless someone harbors perverse inclinations, there seems to be no logical reason for persisting in a sadistic game when there are plenty of other options available. The cloaked man grows increasingly frustrated with Melina and the young man's lack of seriousness, realizing they are underestimating Kang Jin-hyuk. Determined to rectify their attitude, he implores them to follow Cedric and assist him to ensure the success of their plan this time. Meanwhile, Yeonhwa and team in training together at their home come across a live stream of the cloaked man's progress in clearing the 3rd floor. They observe that he has reached the temple of the man-faced tree, where the boss of the 3rd floor resides. The man-faced tree presents a challenge. If one can correctly answer all 3 of its difficult questions, it will reward them with an item possessing a special ability. With his mask on, Kang approaches the man-faced tree and confidently urges it to proceed with the questions. The tree explains that for each correct answer it will grant one of its precious maple leaves. However, if Kang answers any question incorrectly, he will face dire consequences. The first question stumps Teemin and Yeonhwa as they witness Kang, still wearing his mask, confidently provide the correct answer regarding the optimal depth and temperature for the seawater species Kelgorn to inhabit. They are astounded by Kang's knowledge and expertise in such specific details. As the tree proceeds to the next question, Kang interrupts and swiftly answers correctly, leaving Teemin and Yeonhwa even more bewildered. The tree grows increasingly frustrated at Kang's accuracy and swiftly presents the final question. It asks when the giant eagles of the sky plateau mate, but before it can finish, Kang confidently responds with the correct answer once again. The tree becomes both amazed and pleased, stating that Kang is the first human to answer all of its questions successfully. Meanwhile, the chat on the live stream is filled with excitement and astonishment at Kang's remarkable performance. The tree acknowledges Kang's achievement and offers him a choice of maple leaves, red, yellow, or green. Filled with anger, Kang insists that the tree relinquish the black leaf. After a tense standoff, the tree finally surrenders the black leaves to Kang. These black leaves possess a unique power. When applied to a weapon or armor, they bestow the special effect of corruption. This effect adds additional damage to the target equal to 1% of their total health every 3 minutes upon being hit. The caster remains unharmed and only enemies are affected by the corruption effect. With the final piece of the puzzle in his possession, Kang wastes no time and launches a relentless attack on all the demon statues, utilizing the power of the black leaves to their full extent. 2 guards stationed at the entrance of the 3rd floor engage in casual conversation. One guard comments on how unknown the mysterious player has already ventured into the raid against the 3rd floor boss by himself, leaving them with the relatively simple duty of standing guard until their shift ends. However, their conversation is suddenly cut short as they both realize that their fellow guards are nowhere to be seen. In a sudden and unforeseen twist, Julius, accompanied by his group of demonic human members, launches a surprise assault on the guards. Caught off guard and outnumbered, the guards are quickly overwhelmed and captured, destined to have their life energy extracted for Julius' wicked agenda. With the guards subdued, Julius and his group easily proceed through the gates, pressing forward with their ominous march. Clad in his mask, Kang effortlessly dispatches his adversaries with his skill and precision, leaving viewers in awe. The chat on the livestream buzzes with excitement as they marvel at Unknown's unmatched prowess and his rebellious spirit, unyielding to the opinions of others. However, amidst the ongoing stream, Kang's heightened senses catch a faint sound in the distance, alerting him to a potential threat or disruption. With a swift decision, he abruptly concludes the broadcast, leaving viewers in a state of despair and shock. The sudden end to the livestream leaves them longing for more, craving further glimpses into the enigmatic world of Unknown. Kang, fully aware of the formidable demonic army that stands before him, taps into his true power and unleashes a devastating assault upon the battlefield. The demonic humans, recognizing the figure behind the mask, hastily command their skeleton summons to engage him, underestimating his abilities due to their overwhelming numerical advantage. However, Kang's mastery of his skills becomes apparent as he activates his Blessing of the Stars. With a surge of celestial energy, the once obedient skeleton summons spirals out of control, their attacks directed towards their former masters. The demonic humans struggle to regain control over their unruly minions, but their efforts prove futile. Overwhelmed by their creations, they are left defenseless and ultimately defeated, their plans thwarted by the masked figure's superior power. As the members of the demonic association desperately call out for Julius, hoping to salvage the dire situation, Kang observes with keen eyes. Understanding the gravity of the moment, Julius disregards the cautionary pleas of his comrades and unleashes his full power, tapping into the depths of his abilities. With a resounding incantation, he summons forth the ancient and formidable force known as the Guardian of the Pyramid, bringing forth a legion of mummies to aid him in the battle. However, the immense power exerted by Julius takes its toll, evident as he crumbles to his knees, drained of energy and struggling to maintain his composure. The strain of wielding such immense forces becomes apparent, his once formidable presence waning under the weight of his abilities. In a desperate attempt to replenish his power, Julius grasps one of his team members and drains their energy, consuming it for himself. The act shocks his remaining team members, who look on in disbelief and horror. Despite their objections, Julius is determined to continue fighting, even if it means sacrificing his comrades. Kang, witnessing this scene, feels a mix of anger and disgust. He understands that Julius is willing to go to any lengths to gain power, even at the cost of his allies' lives. Kang vows to put an end to Julius and his twisted ambitions, knowing that defeating him is the key to stopping the chaos that has unfolded. As Kang stands before Julius, his face masked with determination, he can't help but feel a surge of anger and sorrow for the teammates who have fallen victim to Julius's insatiable thirst for power. Kang's gaze shifts from Julius to the army of mummies surrounding him, ready to defend their master at any cost. Julius directs his army of mummies to launch an assault on Kang. He loudly commands them, highlighting their ability to maneuver swiftly with their sturdy bindings. These mummy soldiers are formidable undead, being adept in both defensive and offensive techniques. Although Julius had initially intended to reserve them for the boss battle, he is now certain that it is worthwhile to confront and defeat the masked individual known as Unknown in the present situation. Melina and her companion attentively observe the ongoing battle between Cedric and the masked man. Melina expresses surprise, noting that the masked individual is surpassing her initial expectations. She also remarks that it has been quite some time since she witnessed Cedric becoming so enraged. In response, the man comments that Cedric started off well, but his current actions are foolish. It appears that Cedric is underestimating the vast difference in power between himself and his adversary. The masked man may have mistakenly believed that Cedric, given the presence of skeletons and the Death Knight, would be an opponent he could easily handle. However, this assumption was a grave misjudgment, as Cedric's innate abilities pose a far greater threat. Evaluating the present circumstances, the man suggests that there is no necessity for them to intervene any further. Suddenly, Melina becomes aware of colossal explosions reverberating from the confrontation between Cedric and the masked man. Meanwhile, Kang, engrossed in his battle, is flooded with memories of a past encounter. He vividly recalls being taught the intricate art of the pendulum spirit sword arts by a seasoned elderly instructor who wielded a simple rope with astonishing prowess. Kang reminisces about the proficiency he witnessed and endeavors to harness the same technique against the army of mummies. However, he can only manage to replicate a fraction of the mastery exhibited in the pendulum spirit sword arts. As Kang continues to employ the skill, his proficiency in its execution undergoes a tremendous surge. The unleashed magical energy manifests as a formidable vortex, possessing the power to draw in and engulf everything within its vicinity. Julius Cedric, taken aback by this overwhelming display, hastily attempts to shield himself, employing his barrier ability. Alas, Kang's skill proves too potent, wreaking havoc and devastation in its wake. The surroundings crumble under the force of the unleashed power, leaving Julius on all fours, desperately scrambling to evade the imminent destruction. His cries for aid fall on the ears of his comrades, yet Kang swiftly closes the distance, taunting him with mocking words. Finally, the realization dawns upon Julius that the enigmatic masked figure is Kang Jinhyuk. In a final act, Kang employs his fiery prowess to bring an end to Julius' life. With this fateful demise, the summoned entities begin to disintegrate, and the remaining demonic members find themselves encircled by the formidable adversaries of the third floor. Fatigued from the previous battle, Kang prepares himself to face the formidable boss on the third floor. Recognizing the need to restore his depleted mana, he wisely purchases mana recovery potions and quickly consumes them to replenish his energy reserves. As he surveys the surroundings, his attention is caught by a round shield lying on the ground, triggering a flood of nostalgic memories. Acting on instinct, Kang picks up the shield, instantly connecting with his past experiences. With his trusty dagger in one hand and the newly acquired shield in the other, he bravely confronts the guardians of the temple, colossal heavenly statues positioned around him, ready to unleash their might. Kang confronts the colossal godly statues known as the guardians of the temple. The statues launch their attacks against Kang, but he skillfully defends himself using his shield. Appreciating the statue's silence, Kang expresses his preference for their lack of banter. His sole objective is to acquire the key held by the statues, and he implores them to relinquish it, growing weary of the ongoing fight. As Kang focuses his attention on the stone pagoda of enlightenment, he notices a reaction from the golden flower-shaped key. Intriguingly, the entity beyond the gate responds to this signal. Suddenly, the statue merges with the key, transforming into the monstrous form known as Thousand-Armed and Thousand-Eyed Avalokitesvara. This enormous golden and divine statue exhibits countless arms emerging from an immense lotus. The golden god remarks that it has been quite some time since the four heavenly kings last summoned him, expressing surprise that a human among the invaders could pose a threat even to the key within the stone pagoda. Kang confidently responds, stating that it is a mere triviality, and he intends to vanquish the boss on this floor as well. The golden god labels Kang as an impudent human but admits that he will acknowledge his bravery if nothing else. Kang retorts, dismissing the god's comments as a joke, and declares that he is growing weary of the conversation. He asserts his disinterest in idle chit-chat with statues and prepares himself to launch an attack against the golden god. The golden god prepares his weapons to strike Kang, who stands ready to defend himself. As the first attack comes crashing towards him, Kang expertly deflects it using his shield, causing an explosion to erupt behind him. Kang realizes the overwhelming power of the attack, even redirecting it, putting tremendous strain on his body, making him feel as if it may shatter. Undeterred, the golden god prepares for another attack, but Kang swiftly employs his ice formation ability. Enormous icicles materialize surrounding Kang and effectively blocking the incoming strike from the golden god. Infuriated, the golden god directs his anger towards Kang, launching another assault. In a daring move, Kang hurls his dagger at the god, piercing one of his arms. Confused, the golden god scoffs, claiming that something like poison won't affect him. Kang confidently explains that it is not poison but rather something known as blood demon Kai. The golden god dismisses Kang's actions as a petty trick, claiming that it won't have any effect on him. However, the arm of the golden god breaks off and falls to the ground. Despite this, the god challenges Kang, questioning what he hopes to achieve by merely taking one of his arms. Kang confidently responds, stating that removing a single arm is insignificant if his ultimate goal is to kill the god. He asserts that he is aware the same strategy won't work again, but he has accomplished exactly what he intended. Kang seizes an orb from the fallen arm, causing the god to realize that Kang had been targeting the arm with the jewel attached to it all along. Kang merges the grimoire of the Feltaris Principality with the Thousand-Armed Avalokitesvara's jewel, resulting in the creation of the Lemegeton of the Golden Dawn. This newly formed artifact is a written copy of the grimoire originally recorded by the renowned Solomon. As a divine artifact, it accurately reproduces the essence of the 72 demons, enabling the wielder to unleash the full potential of magic-based abilities. Kang employs the Eye of Gluttony on the golden god, gaining insight into the copy condition. He discovers that in order to fulfill the condition, he must spend the next 5 minutes taunting his opponent with ice magic while creating an elaborate and stunning sculpture for him. However, there is an additional requirement. Kang must also choose a suitable song and don appropriate attire to accompany the fulfillment of the condition. Kang finds the entire system increasingly absurd, but he is aware of the item he will receive upon defeating the god. Resolute in his decision, Kang summons a record player and begins to dance, fully embracing the unusual requirements. The golden god becomes increasingly perplexed as Kang dances with his record player. Bewildered, the god inquires about Kang's actions. However, Kang pleads with the golden god, requesting that he refrain from asking any further questions, as he also despises the situation they find themselves in. This infuriates the god, who angrily exclaims, "How dare Kang engage in such frivolity before him?" Enraged, the golden god activates his mandala ability and declares his intent to subject Kang to an excruciating torment equivalent to 1,000,000 cycles of death and rebirth. Kang taps into his glacier formation ability, successfully deflecting and blocking all of the golden god's attacks. Impressed by the enhanced version of his ice formation, Kang acknowledges its remarkable capabilities. On the sidelines, Melina and her companion observe the intense battle between Kang and the golden god. Melina finds Kang's behavior somewhat eccentric, as he had turned on music and started dancing amidst the fight against the formidable Thousand-Armed Avalokitesvara. Furthermore, she can hardly believe that Kang has already mastered his ice magic to such an advanced level. Melina becomes intrigued as she notices Kang wearing a wig suddenly. She ponders whether it could be a consumable wig obtained from the coin exchange or even a divine artifact. Melina and her companion reflect on the immense power of the Thousand-Armed Avalokitesvara, a force so overwhelming that it is typically encountered only after surpassing the challenges of the 10th floor. They acknowledge that Kang bravely confronting such a formidable opponent truly deserves the title of the third floor's second boss. However, Kang has transcended the limitations of mere mortals in his fearless confrontation. Curious about their chances of victory, Melina asks her friend if they would stand a chance if they were to team up against the Golden God. The guy hesitates, acknowledging that it would prove to be a difficult task. Nevertheless, he retrieves an unusual coin, stating that the time has come to utilize it. As Kang continues to fend off the relentless attacks from the Golden God, he realizes that Julius was not the sole representative of the demonic humans sent to confront him. Despite the ongoing battle, Kang briefly glances back at the other individuals present, further infuriating the god. Undeterred, Kang relies on his ice powers to expertly defend against the god's assaults, even managing to withstand the activation of the inescapable lattice ability. Mockingly, the Golden God questions Kang, asking if defensive maneuvers are all he is capable of, and where his earlier confidence had gone. Unfazed, Kang persists in defending against the god's attacks, proving his resilience. The god gathers immense power, unleashing a colossal explosion in an attempt to finally defeat Kang. However, to his surprise, the god notices Kang still standing strong beneath his protective barrier. Kang retaliates, striking the god with his glacial prison ability. In a taunting tone, Kang expresses his regret at learning of the god's intense hatred for his ice abilities. To further provoke the god, Kang creates an ice sculpture in the shape of an offensive hand gesture. The Golden God grows even angrier, but Kang finally fulfills the condition to copy the god's abilities. Kang successfully replicates the unique skill known as Mandala. This exclusive ability can be used by players who have acquired knowledge of Dharma, a combination of observation and armament. It empowers the user to imbue their weapons with a special force. With dedicated mental training, the user can also anticipate the direction of the opponent's attacks. Removing his previous ability, Kang activates Mandala, stunning the Golden God. Seizing the opportunity, Kang launches an attack using the ice sculpture he had created earlier, causing the Golden God to shatter into countless pieces. Here's the video ends. Guys, if you like this recap, then like the video. I will meet you in another video. Till then, bye.